It's not over for Liverpool yet, but the defeat at Tottenham all but finished them off. United still have Arsenal in their sights. They're making plans for the biggest game in Premiership history. Arsenal will want to avoid the risk of an Old Trafford shootout. That game wouldn't matter so much if they put on another roadshow here. Phenomenal form on the road. They put the unbeaten away record on the line at the Reebok tonight. They've won their last 6 in a row away from Highbury. It's 10 out of 10 home and away, which equals a club record. Obviously 11 tonight would set themselves a new benchmark. Bolton are safe, of course, but they've no plans to ease up. They've beaten United and Liverpool this season. A win over the Gunners would make it a very impressive hat-trick. The Monday Night Football comes from Bolton's Reebok Stadium. From the Barclaycard Premiership, it's Bolton Wanderers against Arsenal. 2 wins from 3 will do it for sure for Arsenal. 3 points here would take a lot of the pressure off when they go to Old Trafford a week on Wednesday. It's not so much a must-win, Andy, as an almost must-win this?
They'd like to win it, no doubt about that. The simple fact now, because of the defeat of Liverpool by Tottenham at the weekend, Richard, in a strange sort of way, they only need to win 1 more game. By that I mean if they beat Manchester United on Wednesday, May the 8th, if Arsenal go there and win, they are champions. No one, Liverpool and Manchester United, can do anything about it. So they could lose tonight, they could lose against Everton, but as long as they win May the 8th at Old Trafford, they would be champions. But they'd like to forget that. They'd like not to have to win that game. They'd like to say, OK, we'll beat Bolton, then we'll take enough from the Everton game, and they'll happily take the title.
Well, of course, we came into the final bend on Saturday. There were 3 runners. Liverpool were first out of the traps. They were at White Hart Lane, but they fell.
Nice take by Sheringham. Davis, who of course is by inclination a midfield player and will attack as often as possible down that right-hand side. He's doing very well here. Sheringham's header! Murphy takes the free kick, and Herpier, great stop by Callum. It's off the line by Tarico guarding the post, and Tottenham having trouble in the area in their own box. Another header from Michael Owen. Harmer in towards Heskey, and coming round the back and hitting the post was Risa. Sheringham. Anderton. In goes Everson, it's over him. Davis, quiet this time! Liverpool are behind at White Hart Lane.
He gets a little bit of fortune. The ball off Simon Davis, as it controlled, did he mean it? Rather hits him in the shin. And Gus Poyet, he found the perfect finish.
Michael Owen. He's going to get one of them here, is he? No, maybe. No! Well, that sums up the agony for Liverpool so far at Tottenham today.
And the other thing we should add, if Arsenal win tonight, then that does finish Liverpool's challenge. What was the most disappointing aspect of that defeat for you, from Liverpool's point of view?
That they didn't go on from a very bright start, Richard. We're going to look at the chances they had, but they started fairly well. The one thing I did notice almost from the first few minutes, they weren't as sound as they have been at the back and in midfield defensively. I thought Tottenham posed them an awful lot of problems Whether it was because of the change of system, and I'll talk about that in a second, it might have been. But I think the disappointing thing was second half when they knew they needed a goal. Apart from the chance that Michael Owen had, that he flashed across the face of the goal, and Emil Heskey almost got on the end of it, they didn't have another chance. That was the disappointing thing. The team that needed to create chances and score a goal just didn't create chances. Disappointment when they really needed it most.
Roy Evans made the point at the weekend that they lack what Manchester United have in Keane and what Arsenal have in Vieira. Do you agree?
They lacked it at the weekend. I think in Steven Gerrard, they have a Vieira Keane type footballer. But we've heard today that Gerard Houllier chose, and I have to say I'm a bit surprised at that decision, chose not to play Steven Gerrard when he said he wanted to play. I think when you're that close to the end of the season and you know you need to win a game, I think if Roy Keane would have been in that situation, he'd gone to Alex Ferguson and says, I want to play, I think Fergie would have played him. I think if Vieira had been in that situation and he'd have gone to Arsene Wenger and said, I want to play, I think Arsene Wenger would have played him. But Gerrard has his reasons. He wanted to protect him for Liverpool's future and possibly the World Cup. But, you know, I think it was a big game that they needed to win. And when you think of the games they've got coming up, they perhaps could have done without him in one of those games if he needed the rest.
Were they a little unfortunate that in the first 10, 15 minutes something didn't go their way?
Yes, very unfortunate. Well, look at the three chances in particular. The first one from the free kick, Sami Hyypiä. Now, it's a lovely ball in, but I think if I put that on Sami Hyypiä's head another 10 times, Richard, he's what, 6 yards out, he's way up above his marker. Goalkeeper's got a good position, but anywhere wide of him, anywhere in there, headed firmly and solidly, I think he would have found it. But it's just high enough at the right height for a fine save. 10 seconds later from the resulting corner, Heskey goes up. They're not bad. They're all tightly marked. Spurs players have done all right here. There's hardly a red shirt got space, but Emil Heskey's just put in a great leap. Helps it on. He's only just, I mean, this is a lovely area. He's just using the pace of the ball out towards that corner. Look at it, just direct it in. But you know what I think about putting people on the post, and by doing that, Maurizio Tarico keeps the score at 0-0. And then the third one, and I think this is really unlucky, because when you play with wing backs up here like they've got there, Simon Davies is obviously, they've had the ball here, but when you play with a wing back you tend to take an advanced position. But if the guy who's playing left hand side, Jean-Arne Risa, doesn't track him initially, suddenly when possession is retained or they get possession back, now Simon Davies has got a job, but he's got to try and get in there and make up the space. Now that's the difficult thing. Now watch this ball, fantastically arrowed. Look at Davies, he's thinking there's a problem here, there's a problem. He does his best to get in, but again, you look at good fortune. Off the post, Richard, what would happen if that just drops down there to Danny Murphy? Could have done, quite easily. Goalkeeper's out the picture, could have been, but where does it drop? Right in between them, and they managed to hack it away. So they didn't enjoy the best of luck. Here's what I'm talking about. They didn't really deal with Gus Poyet well enough. I talked about the system they played. Now, they played with 3 in midfield there, right? Now, normally, when Liverpool play, they have their bank of 4. You can see them there, the 4 defenders. Now, what they would have would be another player, midfield player, just putting them there, for instance. That's what he would be. But because they played Schmitzer off the front 2, they left himself a little bare. Now, this was a little warning, I think, earlier on. Now, look at Poyet, just on the edge of the box, on the D. Risa hasn't gone in to mark him. They obviously feel at 4v4 they're happy, but they weren't. That was uncharacteristic. I cannot remember Sami Hyypiä missing a ball like that. Bread and butter for the big man. Bosh, heads it clear, Liverpool get up the pitch. But that was the little warning, I felt. And then the goal, when it happens, maybe the same thing. Again, it might be something to do with the system. When you watch the build-up here, you see, coming into the picture now, he hasn't even started yet. He's right there, Mr. Poyet. He hasn't even started running yet, but he's going to take an interest very shortly. And what I'm saying is, and I'll wait till we cut it to the next, as Darren Anderson jinks past here, again, it's exactly the same scenario, Richard. 1 midfield player, 2 midfield players. Risa, who's used to playing wide, should be, when the ball is in this side here, when the ball is coming down this side here, right, and you're only playing 3, your midfield player has to be tucked in. Has to be tucked in. That's too big a gap. But he's used to playing with somebody in there. Used to playing with 1, 2, him there, and another one there. Now, had they had that 4th midfield player in that sort of position, he might have taken Poyet's run. He might have covered it. This is all, of course, conjecture, but that's what they've been used to playing throughout the season. But even so, Risa should track him all the way. Until somebody calls him, look how he switches off. He's switched off, he's gone a little bit ball watching. They're very, very deep. He can't get back. And it was a really good finish. It was a Poirier-type goal, but could have been avoided.
It's a big, big night for Arsenal. Liverpool chose to leave Steven Gerrard out. Manchester United shuffled the pack. Do Arsenal go to the Reebok all guns blazing? Claire Tomlinson's got the team news. Claire.
Well, Richard fears all day over Thierry Henry's hamstring, and I can tell you it does keep him out of the starting 11. Both he and Sol Campbell will be on the bench. Sylvain Wiltord, though, is fit. He's recovered from his thigh injury, and he will deputise. Bolton's lineup, Sam Allardyce makes just one change, the team that beat Fulham 3-0 last time out. He had hoped Ricardo Gardner would be fit to come in, but his hamstring problems go on, so Gareth Farrelly makes his first start in 11 after similar problems. Gudni Bergson skippers the side in the continued absence of the injured Mike Whitlow. He's the only Bolton player remaining from the last Bolton team to beat Arsenal, a 1-0 home win back in October 1995. Yuri Djorkaeff played under Arsene Wenger for Monaco. He lines up with Freddie Bobic and Rod Wallace in attack. Top scorer Michael Ricketts warms the bench for the 7th successive game. Just that one change for Arsenal then. Martin Keown and Tony Adams continue in the heart of the defence. Keown was sent off after 65 minutes, the last time Arsenal played here on the way to the double in '98. They won that game 1-0. Patrick Vieira is the only player named for 4 successive years in the PFA Premiership Team of the season. Super Swede Freddie Ljungberg has scored in the last 4 league games, taking his tally to the season to 15 so far. It's Wiltord and Bergkamp up front. Confirmation there, Henry and Campbell named among the substitutes. Well, if Arsenal do avoid defeat tonight and in their next league game away at Manchester United, they'll become the first team to have achieved an unbeaten away record in the league since Preston back in 1888. A team you'll remember, Richard, were a great team.
I was just about to make that point to you, funnily enough. Well played, Claire. She's done me.
I was still at school.
Campbell on the bench, Henry on the bench, carrying a slight strain, we understand, Henry. But would you be tempted to play both?
I think with Arsenal are concerned, and the difference is that they don't necessarily have to win this game tonight. And it's a game against Bolton where they'll think that even without Thierry Henry, they have enough to win it. So I can understand, when I talked about Steven Gerrard, I can understand them saying with Henry, what they'll do, Richard, if there's a slight doubt, keep him on the bench. Should things go well, they won't have to use him. It'll be a wise decision. If it hasn't gone well, if by 25 minutes to go, half an hour to go, it's 0-0 or they're 1-0 down or worse, then there's no doubt Henry will come on and play what Arsenal would hope a significant part. But Arsene Wenger, his plan is not to use him, hoping not to have to use him.
With Adams fit, what's their best back two then?
I think Sol Campbell's in it, and I think probably so would Martin Keown at the moment. I think Tony is still a bit short in fitness, I think. He's not played as many games you'd like. This is only his 10th start.
So is that a risk tonight?
Well, again, if Campbell's a doubt, then, you know, I think he's saying, all right, Tony's working his way towards fitness. It's a good partnership. They know each other well. They've played for years together. He's happy to go in with it, knowing that Tony will do a great job regardless. But I think if in a pressure situation, if he was forced to pick well, a fit Campbell, fit Keown and a fit Adams, I think Tony might miss out.
Solid 4-4-2?
Yeah, it will be tonight, Richard. I mean, we've talked about them. Martin Keown and Adams, years and years of experience in that. Too much to mention. So, he goes in with a real good, solid backbone with the goalkeeper, David Seaman, behind him, and Lauren, who's, well, he's made that position his own, I think, over the last year or so. And, sorry, Ashley Cole will play left-hand side. But it's in midfield where I do think, although they've got power, Richard, Ray Parlour, he's been short in goals this year. Don't think he's got a league goal this season, a Premiership goal, Ray, but he's missed a lot of the season. Patrick Vieira, well, we know all about Patrick and Edu. They are not at the moment flush with goals, and I think that's why the man I'm about to put up next, Freddie Ljungberg, has been vital. Thierry Henry's gone 335 minutes without a Premiership goal. Dennis Bergkamp's gone 396 minutes without a Premiership goal. And the absence of goals from those two, who's been the man? Freddie. Time and time and time again, he puts himself in there, puts himself in an area to miss a chance. Fantastic. And particularly when one of your front two does what Dennis does, comes off, goes into little areas where he can influence the play, drops off, picks up the ball. Particularly when he does that, then he needs someone to supplement the front man tonight, who's going to be Will Todd. So that's the kind of system they'll play. Vieira and Edu won't do too much going forward. They'll expect Youngberg and Ray Parlour to be the ones to attack from wide. It's a system they use a lot.
It's Sam Allardyce, of course there's a threat everywhere when Arsenal are concerned, but is he thinking, if I can keep Freddie quiet, we've got more than half a chance here?
Yeah, and I think what you might find Bolton do tonight. In fact, shall I put on the team while we're doing that?
So.
All right, well, let's go on. Because they're going to go in with a back four. And I'll tell you what I would try and do if I was playing against them. With Bergson and Gotti and Simon Charlton, right? Now, what I would try and do with a back four, Richard, would be to defend sensibly, you know, like Ipswich did. Nice and deep. Don't leave too much space in behind you. Defend sensibly and tuck them in, like that. And say, go on then. We're going to leave as little space as we can. Then, what I think we're going to find tonight, with Nolan in the midfield area, with Per Franson, and with Gareth Farrelly, I would again say, be nice and tight, play it nice and tight. And if you're going to allow space, Richard, against Arsenal, I think, you allow it down here. You say to them, go on then, I'll send you down here. I'll send you down here. Arsenal want it in here. Arsenal want to be threading little balls in there, in behind players, in through there. That's where they want to be threading them. They don't want to be playing it wide. I would try and force them wide into those areas and say, go on, if you get it there, cross it. Because I don't think you get anybody in there from score with a header. Cross it, if you want. Block it off and let them cross it. And then let your two big centre-backs deal with any crosses. I mean, I could count in one hand the amount of headed goals, probably not even one hand, that Arsenal scored in free play from headers this year. So, where are the strengths, Arsenal's? Playing centrally, looking for Youngberg's little runs and playing out little through balls in there. Where are their weaknesses? Attacking, I think forcing them wide and making them cross it in.
And so, three up top?
And it looks like they'll go with three up top. We just get rid of these little arrows here, Richard, quickly. Not the team. Yeah, and three up top. What we'll probably see is Rod Wallace. Will play start right-hand side. I think Freddie Bobic, who's started to get goals for his club, and he'll be made up with that in there. And Yuri Djorkaev's the one, I'm not sure. I think we're going to see him start here, but it wouldn't surprise me at some time in the match, Richard, if that happens, and he goes in there and tries to get involved, and we might find that from there. But initially, I think we're going to find Rodney. He'll fill in up and down there to fill in, maybe help. I don't think they'll ask him to do as much. He's 34 years of age, Yuri Djorkaev. They'll want him on the ball in these parts of the pitch, and Freddie Bobic to continue his good form in scoring goals.
You were just showing off, taking those arrows off, weren't you? Just because you can.
I'm learning.
Monday Night Football from Sky Sports, and what a night for Arsenal, for Manchester United, in fairness, and Liverpool. An Arsenal win here takes Liverpool out of the equation. It makes Old Trafford a lot easier for the Gunners as well. A Bolton win, and that really does open up all sorts of possibilities for Manchester United particularly. And we'll talk about them when we come back. They had to win at Portman Road. They did, but controversially. And his views on that next. Live Super League tomorrow night, the Wolves against the Broncos, 7:30 start here on Sky Sports 1. This evening, it's Bolton against Arsenal. Bolton safe, Arsenal within touching distance of the Championship. And a very special good evening to you if you are Monday Night Football man this evening, one of 3.5 million in 37,000 pubs and clubs up and down the country. A new survey has revealed, a university study this is as well, that Monday night is now officially the second most popular night in the pub, and it's all down to the Monday Night Football. Well, didn't we just say that 10 years back?
Providing a service was our aim. Making publicans happy was our second aim. We haven't seen much return from the publicans, Richard and I, by the way, so if you want to drop a couple of crates down here to Sky, then you're more than welcome.
We always did just say that Monday night extended the weekend. That, if you remember that feeling when you went to work on a Monday and the sky was grey and it was wet and windy out there, not much to look forward to in the week. Monday Night Football changed that, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. I mean, we did start and we thought, what would it work first and foremost? Because that's the big question that we were all asking 10 years ago when we started, Richard. I think everyone thought there was a slot there for it. Everyone thought that people would like it, football fans would take to it. And I think the survey shows that football fans have taken to it. They do like it. And I think now, come Monday nights now during the season when there isn't a game, I think they're all rather disappointed.
A Monday night man falls into one of 6 categories, apparently. He's either Hugh Grant, let me just run through these for you. Hugh Grant, who's a bumbling fool, apparently, walking across the screen during the course of the night. The Owl, who gets there early, finds 2 screens, he keeps flicking his eyes between the 2. The Buster Bladder.
No, not him.
It sits there with his legs crossed, daren't move. The Absentee pops out, misses the goal. The Neck Craner, who gets there late and has to stand underneath the television. And the Forward Planner. Now, this might be me. Jug of beer, plenty of nuts and crisps. You can sit there all night and not have to go back to the bar.
No, you would have a glass of chilled Chablis, not a jug of beer. You know you don't drink beer. So you could be, you like your nuts and you like your crisps, so you'd be all right with that. I think I would be the Owl, get a nice seat. But I just wonder if there's one missing.
Go on.
The hindsight man. The one who, after he's watched Monday Night Football, sits down and says, listen, this is what they should have done. I knew you shouldn't have picked him. He should have played him. They should have changed it at half-time.
You're probably right. You're probably right.
He'd be the other one.
Good evening to you, Monday night man. Now then, it's a Saturday. Of course, Manchester United knew when they kicked off at Portman Road that Liverpool had lost. That if they won, they would be right on the heels of Arsenal.
Keane, Brown, Van Nistelrooy! Easy take by Carroll. And released it too quickly for Chadwick. McGrill was there. Here's Miller. Getting away from Nicky Butt. Bent! Here's Luke Chadwick. Forlan! Side netting. Nicky Butt. Roy Keane's cross. Van Nistelrooy looks to connect with it. And the referee has pointed to the spot.
Are we seeing in between defenders once again? Well, I think it looks a little bit soft.
He scores! Manchester United are ahead in controversial fashion just before half-time. McGrill. Bent. Clapham. Of course, has got Wilness pushing up on his outside. Looking for Matt Holland. Here's Roy Keane. Good hit by him. Oh, off the underside of the bar. Stunning effort from Keane that could have wrapped up the victory for United.
What a strike from Roy Keane, man of the match again. I don't think we see Manchester United play when he doesn't win man of the match. That penalty, might that yet be the costliest pen in Premiership history?
Well, if Ipswich end up going down, Richard, it might, what is the chairman saying, it might cost them £33 million. Relegation might cost Ipswich. This has certainly added to it, the penalty decision. Whether Ipswich would have gone on and won the game, we'll never know. But it was the huge, big talking point of the football match, no doubt about that.
It was felt soft, as we heard Ray Wilkins say on the day. You've had plenty of time to look at it.
I have.
What did you make of it?
Yeah, you know me, I always, when we do our live games, it's things like I always like to have been there, so you know I could see how it happened. So I've looked at this quite a lot today, and let's take a look at first and foremost normal speed from what happens in the goal. Titus Bramble and John McGreal. If I take that back just a bit, I think there looks to be slight contact from. I think Bramble does what most defenders are allowed to do, Richard. He leans in. Now,
he was penalised for the push.
Yes, it would be Bramble. John McGreal, totally innocent. The space is this. Look, what I'm saying is, you look how close Titus Bramble is. Now, when a ball comes over like that, Richard, say, and a ball's been delivered as it has been from there, and it's going to fly away outside and go over the top. Now, you want your defender to be strong. You don't have to go and win the ball. You be strong. You stop the other player coming in against you, and you let it float over your head. That's good defending. But there's contact. How much? You can see it's there. Referee, not a problem. You can't argue with the position that Rob Stells takes. He has an absolutely great view of that. Not a player in his way, Richard. So He's got no excuses by saying he didn't see it. And even today, the referee said he got it right. So there's the slight contact, but I had a look even closer at this. And, you know, when people get accused of diving, you always worry about this. But let me just run this on, and maybe Ruud van Nistelrooy has been helped down by himself. Now watch this closely. Try and get the step right as it comes in. Not that one. Now watch as his right foot comes through again. There. See that? Watch it again. The right foot comes through, the left foot goes down, the right foot into the back of the left thigh as he's running, catches it there. And trust me, and down. Now I think when you're running at pace and you're running like that, if you do that, then you trip yourself up. So I think everyone who jumped to dive, accusations for Nistelrooy, maybe had they seen that, then they might have said, well, maybe he didn't dive. I think he catches his own leg and he goes over as a result of that and a little bit of contact.
So all those circumstances, put them in the mix together, can you understand then why Rob Stiles did give the penalty?
I think, first and foremost, I think it was soft. I agree with Ray Wilkins. I thought it was a soft penalty, and United were fortunate to get it. But the referee has looked at it, and he sees contact, and he sees a player go down, and he's decided to give a penalty. He's looked at it again today, and he still says, I would have given the same decision. You can't argue that. He's paid to give decisions like that. I think it was soft. I think they were unlucky, Ipswich.
Of course, Matty Holland has been honest enough today to say, well, look, our season will not come down to just that award. If we're in the bottom three, we deserve to be. It is now a two-way fight between Ipswich and Sunderland. We knew, of course, prior to Saturday that Leicester and Derby were down. That defeat there for Ipswich made them all safe above Sunderland. 3 points the gap between the two. Sunderland with an inferior goal difference. So there's still plenty to play for. Sunderland, of course, could have put themselves out of reach if they won at Charlton, and for some time, after going a goal down early, they'd led. It was
an unbelievable start to the game. I mean, the first goal, if we could come to it now, Richard, I think what they do here, it's a throw-in, but what they do, they react so quickly. Look at all the three red shirts. When you look at them here, he's ready to go in there. He's ready to go in. Oh, sorry. See, it just shows you haven't mastered this yet, mate. He's ready to go in there. He's ready to go in there. He's ready to go in. They're all edging this way. They're all determined to go forward, and they catch Sunderland a little bit on the hop. So now, first minute of the match, on it comes. Look at them. Now they've got a problem, Sunderland, because Jason Ewell's in front of his marker. He can't be offside. He's behind the ball. And when this ball's fizzed across here, it's a lovely ball. He's going to come in and meet it first time. And the defender can't do anything about it. And it goes. Ewell knows he's there. He can't touch him, otherwise it's a penalty. And it was a brilliant finish. But what a response. In many ways, when you were being taught to run forward, Richard, to a through ball, what you got taught an awful lot was, and Kevin Gilban doesn't do it, you get taught to run across the face of the defender and then in, because that automatically keeps you onside. If you run goal side, then in. But what Kevin Gilban's going to do, he's just going to run straight in there. The ball is going to be a fantastic one, played right along here, slid in here somewhere. Fantastic ball in, but he's not offside. They're a little bit deep. Gets in behind, I think it's Konchesky, and it's a really good response. 49 seconds after they'd gone one down. Oh, let me take that back. Oh, there we go. It was just before they take this. I'm looking at that, and I looked at it today, and I thought, well, what do you think? Could they have defended it better? You'll look at that and say, fine, not a problem. But immediately, when I look at that, Richard, I see, in this area here, I see a 4v3 situation. Right, there's one over. Now, I just think in a situation like that, what this defender here, all right, he's marking the player there, and he might think, I'm doing a decent job. But one of the back four, Richard Rufus or Josh Costa, should have been screaming for him not to be there, but to get himself back in here, edge of the box marking. Why? Because that's the danger area right now. And if the ball, Richard, was switched to here, then what can he do? He can then, if he's there, come and pressure the ball quite easily.
You preempted my next question.
Sorry, mate. But you know what I'm saying? He can now come and press the ball. The danger is in that central area. And because of 4v3, they get a little bit caught not knowing how to mark. And even though he ain't scored for a while, you don't give that boy that type of chance, Richard. Otherwise he scores. Good to see him back on scoring tells. But should this have been offside? I looked at this today. Graham Stewart is brilliant. But as he turns that ball in there,
probably. You talk about the yard, don't you?
Well,
and what have officials been told? If there's a gap?
Probably. If there's a gap,
If you can see a gap, you should
there's
look
a gap
from the
in
side.
between the players, and I just think that looks. I don't care what anyone says. That looks a yard offside to me.
His foot's level with that back foot.
Yeah, he's offside. Yes. So it could have been. That's what I'm saying. But they don't get it, and they're a little unlucky. And Kevin Lisby, wonderful acrobatic, and they probably deserved it because they really did bombard Sunderland second half.
It's a straight shootout between the two. Ipswich go to Liverpool, where they won last year with a goal from Marcus Stewart. Sunderland meet Derby. They have to be favourites going into the last day, but you never know. You really never know. So Bolton are safe, and Blackburn are safe, and Fulham are safe. Here's Sam Allardyce with Claire Tomlinson.
Sam, all three promoted teams have defied the odds and stayed up for the first time ever in the Premiership. Is that blood pressure just beating a little bit easier now?
Yes, it's definitely come down over the last couple of days. It was a tense, nervous affair for me on Saturday, not having a game for the first time, but sitting, listening and waiting for the Manchester United Ipswich scoring. And thankfully it went our way, and we're safe in the Premiership for one more season.
Lots of talk about repaying that favour to Manchester United, but you've already beaten them, you've already beaten Liverpool. Is it all about getting a third big scalp tonight?
Well, we'll try our best, and of course at this stage of the season, coming across the big sides is incredibly difficult. We picked most of our 3 points up against the big sides early on in the season when they were rotating the squads. Now, Arsenal particularly are all out for the Championship. We've seen the side it'll be very difficult for us, and the fact that they haven't lost an away game all season makes life difficult. But we'll give it our best shot. We want to do it for ourselves first, of course, but also if we can return the favour, it would be nice to do so tonight.
You won't have to face Thierry Henry, though, from the kick-off tonight.
No, it appears that he's got a bit of an injury problem. He is on the bench, so they're obviously going to bring him off the bench and risk him if they think they need to. So I hope that's the case, because we'll be doing well if we see Thierry Henry tonight.
You did get a draw down at Highbury. Do you think it'll be a much different game? Arsenal's unbeaten record is phenomenal this season away from home.
Well, we worked extremely hard with 10 men for about 70 minutes to get a draw, and really frustrated Arsenal on the day. So I think it's much the same again for us today. I think they're going to have the majority of the possession because of the quality of the players that they've got, but we're going to try and make life very difficult for them. And if we can hit them on the break, if we can get a chance, try and put it in the back of the net and test the nerve a little bit. But we're really looking forward to the game because there's no pressure on us to get any more points now. But we'll try our best to get a result, because we want to finish at home here at the Reebok in front of our fans on a high.
Thanks, Sam. Wish you the best.
Cheers, thank you.
Don't know about you, but I'm delighted for him. 1.3 million. A few wages, a few pounds here and there. He's kept them afloat on nothing.
Fantastic. Fantastic. We've talked most of the year, you and I, Richard, here on Monday Night Football, that our manager of the year would be Bobby Robson for what he's achieved there. But when you put it all into perspective, what Sam has achieved at Bolton on basically washers, fantastic. Well done, big man. I think I thought they'd go down. Hold my hands up. I didn't think they'd have enough, but with good coaching, good management, and a fantastic season from the players who've really, when it really looked like they were going to fold, Richard, have managed to regroup again and come back again. And, 3 wins in the last 6 games. Vital time of the season. Top marks. I am delighted for them.
Job to do tonight, then he can start worrying about next season. It's Arsenal when we come back. 10 straight wins, 6 in a row on the road. Can they make it 11 next?
Too good to miss.
South Korea v England and Cameroon v England.
This summer on Sky Sports.
British gas.
All right. Come in. Oh, let's give us a sauce. Yeah, I like it hot, but the cost.
What's that you're cooking? Is it your lunch or something?
Yeah, roast.
I like a bit of roast. A lot of our customers are finding out ways to heat their homes more efficiently from our website and the helpline. There you go. That new valve should save you a few quid.
Excellent.
Tidy job and all.
There you go. Cup of tea.
Lovely.
Thanks very much.
Cheerio. All right, off to Romford.
Find out how you could save with the British Gas Energy Saving Programme. Out here, good is never good enough.
That's why the BMW Williams F1 team relies on the compact Evo N600C notebook with mobile Intel Pentium 3 processor M to make real-time adjustments that save valuable time. Because out here, if you want to win, you should never be satisfied. So what can compact do for your business?
If your life takes you all around the world, staying in touch can be an achievement in itself.
Hi guys, everything fine?
Great, just having a bite or two.
Get closer with T-Mobile's transatlantic mobile connection. Get more. T-Mobile.
When you've got a big day ahead, the last thing you need is constipation. All bloated and sluggish. Like a lot of people, I take Senecot. It's made from natural senna. Just one dose at night works in harmony with your body for gentle, predictable relief when you wake.
Ready?
You bet. Go on, enjoy your day.
Senecot, natural relief for a brighter tomorrow.
Why can't everything orange be Fanta?
In this bar, it's the girls who call the shots.
You're unbelievable.
We start Friday night. You giving me a job? What do you want?
Well, it's 3:30 in the morning. I want whatever man wants. Breakfast.
You're unbelievable.
Is this a church meeting or is this a bar? And it's not alive!
This is the greatest party I've ever been to.
Coyote Ugly, Saturday at 8 on Sky Premier.
Cricket season's underway. Our coverage of the domestic season continues tomorrow from 10:30 when Somerset meet Glamorgan. On Wednesday morning, same start time, it's Northamptonshire against Worcestershire. Both those games coming Saturday. We're in Cardiff for the FA Cup final.
Hasselback! Hasselback! What a fantastic shot!
This coming Saturday, live on Sky Sports, Graham Souness will be there, Alan Shearer and George Graham with Andy and myself. This Saturday, remember, FA Cup final in Cardiff. Now, we mentioned Sam Allardyce, who at the bottom end has performed miracles this season. Now, what about Sir Bob here?
Brilliant. I know you're in a one-man campaign. Well, it ain't one man, it's growing in...
it's gathered momentum, hasn't it?
It's gathered momentum that he should be knighted, and we have been all season. Yeah, I mean, I think he's been brilliant, Bob. Again, it's another team I'm delighted for, Richard. They've put so much into the season. It's been a long one. Started way back in the Inter-Toto Cup.
Yes, you forget that,
and they've kept it going, and all these people that said the Inter-Toto Cup was bad for you, that eventually it catches up with you. Well, Newcastle have shown that, yeah, you can play in the Inter-Toto Cup, and you can still contest the top 3 or 4 in the Premiership. They were up there for a long, long time. And the one thing that was disappointing is they didn't keep it going. I really think at one time, when they got through that real sticky spell and they looked at the remaining fixtures, they fancied their chances of really having a go at it. And that would be the one thing that would disappoint them.
Just a glimpse of young Shearer there, Will Shearer, whose dad was smashing goals in again at the weekend. 22 now for Alan Shearer.
Brilliant. I mean, the Golden Boot is right up for grabs now. We've got 4 fantastic footballers, Richard, either of whom can win it. But they were poor first half. And one of the, you talk about great goal scorers of the present, here's one of the future. I think Jermaine Defoe gets that ball in there, look at the way he's just composed, he's got great technique there. Shea Gibbons got himself in a pretty decent position there, but watch the way he just arrows it past him. I mean, people don't need to make a note of his name because it's there for all to see. Here, this is really poor defending, I think. Robert, look at Shearer, not doing a lot, but he's just going to spin inside there. And again, I don't think Repka defends this very well.
Off?
No, see, you talked about space. That's not off, not in my opinion. I think that's one that should be allowed to go, even if it was 6 inches off.
Is that off if it's anybody else but Shearer?
No, but what it is, I mean, when that ball's played through, I'm thinking here, that ball goes through there, Repka will just turn, and, you know, Alan, sorry Al, but he's no Michael Owen. So, why he steps out is beyond me. Really beyond me. But the one thing that was a certainty was the finish. I didn't think he was ever going to miss it. And it was a fantastic goal for Al. I think that's 22 for the season. 2 great balls from Solano. Why is David James heading that?
No idea.
Why didn't he catch it?
Brainstorm.
Why didn't he catch it?
Did he think he was outside of his box?
Well, he couldn't be. His feet are about 2 yards inside it. But Lua, who took an eternity to score his first goal, suddenly finds that these things are dropping for him. And then again, watch this, Solano again. Look at the run of Laurent Robert. Fantastic ball. And all's well, ends well on the day. They didn't play well first half. Bobby got at them, I'm sure, at half-time. And they gave the Geordie fans a right good send-off at home for the season.
Let's talk about Arsenal. If you're going to win this title, you need luck. Did Arsenal, I wonder, use theirs up when they met West Ham at Highbury last Wednesday?
Terrific run, brilliant, wonderful. David James has stopped what would have been one of the goals of the season. Here's Daly, on to Winterburn. Sinclair to his left, Canute ahead of him. Clever ball for Sinclair. That's a great cross too. And the header was not far off from Canute. Too successfully though, and Lawrence lost out here to Canute. He's all on his own as far as West Ham are concerned, but he's got round the last defender, he's got round the goalkeeper. He's claiming it had crossed the line, but there was no flicker from the linesman. After slipping and presenting the ball to Ljungberg. Great pass as well to Henry, lovely first time layoff, and it's come back to Thierry Henry and follows through. Great save! Well, I think the second one hit him rather than him saving it, but David James to West Ham's rescue again. Oh, great run by Cole, but Adams read it superbly. Here's Canu into the final 14 minutes. Still goalless at Highbury. Dennis Bergkamp for Arsenal. Good ball for Ljungberg! Just over 10 minutes to go. Arsenal 1, West Ham 0. If Arsenal win, they move 4 points clear of Liverpool, 5 ahead of Manchester United. At the end of tonight, they will have all played the same number of games. Here goes Ljungberg again. Henry in the middle. Canu far post! The joy and relief floods Highbury.
This time I don't even have to ask you. That was a goal.
Yes, but I don't think it was as clear-cut as everyone's made out. I thought it was a massive decision for the linesman, particularly on the far side, Richard. I mean, if you look at it in normal speed, this is what I'm going to do. It's like very normal speed. This is what happens. We've got the 18-yard camera. You're running down the line. Ball goes round. Even from this side, how quick is that? How does it happen? Ashley Calder's brilliant. but it's not definite. So I just think there was enough doubt for the linesman, unless he was 100% sure. He said, I had to keep my flag down. They're unlucky. Had he been this side, he might have given the goal.
Arsenal could have won it anyway, couldn't they?
They
But
could have,
you want
still.
what you get, don't you?
Yes, but the goal that got them there. And one thing West Ham can be pleased about, Richard, they've kept Arsenal out longer than any team in the Premiership. 74 minutes, that's the longest they've gone. But watch them, there they go, there's Freddie right there. Look who's joined them, Tony Adams. That shows you how desperate they're getting. Tony's decided with 15 minutes ago, I need to get up there. But this is just so typical. Watch for this movement tonight. Watch for this play. You see what I mean? If that was a player there, Dennis Bergkamp should be getting sent down there. Not being allowed to come inside. Even overemphasise it with your body if you're a defender. Send him wide. But he doesn't. And they pay a look at Freddie's run. Look at the ball. Unbelievable. Time and time again, that guy does it. And has done it.
5 goals in his last 4 games. He scored in each of the last 4 matches. So you know what he's going to do. So how then do you stop it?
It's the most difficult person to mark in a football pitch is the man who's running from deep. It's easy to mark a front man who stands up alongside centre-backs, Richards, or full-backs and gets marked. That's easier. But what he does is watch. I mean, there's a clutch of goals here. Now watch how many he arrives through the defence. 1. That from the right side, when he normally plays there. He just arrives. Again, who's going to come? From deep, arriving on cue. 2. This famous goal here. Just when he needed it most at Anfield. Right on cue. Who arrives on cue here? Again, from the left this time. No surprise.
Is he better arriving? They're all through the middle ultimately, but is he better stealing in from those wide positions?
Yes. It's even harder to mark. And invariably, Richard, by stealing in from wide position, this is the only goal in this lot, but this shows his ability. 1 touch, what a strike that is. When you arrive from wide, you're invariably coming from the other side the ball's on. So an awful lot of time defenders are attracted to the ball, they're looking at the ball, so they don't see Freddie coming from out of vision. So it helps him, I think, when he goes from wide, to arrive from the ball coming from the opposite side. Like Dennis Bergkamp, he's playing left against West Ham, so Dennis arrives in from the right, Freddie arrives from the left-hand side, maybe players are watching the ball, he steals through the middle of them, they can't stop
So
him.
he may want to play in the middle, we hear, but right now he's got no chance.
Absolutely not. Can't hell's chance of playing middle. His record tells you can't play him anywhere but where Arsene Wenger's played him, wide right or wide left.
Henry arrived as a winger, and Arsene Wenger turned him into a front runner. Wiltord here arrived, I think, as a centre forward.
Yeah.
Arsene Wenger will tell you he's better on the flanks.
Certainly as a goal scorer, Wiltord arrived, Richard, and after France 98, I think that's what everyone thought he was. He's taking time to settle. There's absolutely no doubt about that. Ultimately, he may play up front. I don't know. But Arsene Wenger at the moment, and I often think it helps players to put them in areas, Richard, where there's less pressure on them. There's not so much pressure on Sylvain Wiltord to deliver goal after goal if he's playing in a wide area. It may be a way of Arsene Wenger bedding him into Arsenal, bedding him into English football. But Wiltord has shown at international level he's got quality, he can score goals at the highest level, and I don't think there'll be a doubt, but at the moment, I think they're taking him out of there, although tonight he'll play right up top. His job will be, you are Thierry Henry, you need to provide a goal.
It's only the 10th meeting this in the last 38 seasons. Arsenal are unbeaten in the last 4. They've won 3 of those. 1-1 at Highbury earlier in the season when they met, a point that kept Bolton top, point ahead of the Gunners. Arsenal won the last time they went to the Reebok, March 98. That was their 4th win in a sequence of 10 that ultimately carried them to the title. Arsenal will just keep producing at the minute. What do you think tonight?
I just think the longer a run goes on, Richard, the more difficult it is to keep it going. That might sound daft, but you know it's going to come to an end, and every time they go away and don't lose at home, and every time they win another game, you think, well, how long is that going? They're at their optimum now. No team has gone better than Arsenal at the moment. They're out to equal records tonight and beat records. It's a very difficult thing to do. I've said all along to you, and you know that, I think this is going to be like I thought Tottenham would be for Liverpool. I think this just might be a lot more difficult than a lot of Arsenal fans think tonight.
And if that's the case, we get the biggest game in Premiership. Commentators are Alan Smith and Rob Hawthorne.
Well, Alan, if Manchester United and Liverpool could have hand-picked opponents to spike Arsenal's championship chase, I wonder just how high on that list of adversaries Bolton would be, bearing in mind that they've beaten Manchester United and Liverpool this season.
Yeah, I'm not sure how high they would be, but I know what you mean. Any side of Sam Allardyce's is going to battle for 90 minutes. And even though they're safe tonight, we heard him beforehand saying that they'd like to go out on a high, and it's going to be tough for Arsenal.
OK, well, let's take a look at the two teams for this evening. And there's one change to the Bolton side, beaten by Fulham in their last game. Gareth Farrelly is back after 11 matches out. Nicky Southall drops out. So the back four remains the same. Bruno Ngotti has proved to be £450,000 well spent since his move from Marseille. And another Frenchman, Yuri Djorkaeff, who played for Arsene Wenger at Monaco, again lines up in attack with German international Freddy Bobic. Between them, they've scored 7 goals in 8 games together, and their presence in the team means more disappointment for Michael Ricketts.
Well, it's going to be a big test for this back four tonight, Rob. Don't expect them to be defending too high up the pitch. I think they'll be defending deep to counter the pace of Viltord and the diagonal runs of Freddie Ljungberg. The midfield will have to help in that job. Kevin Nolan's had an excellent season. He can score goals, but up front, Djorkaeff's the man for them, I think. He can create something out of nothing, and I think he'll drop deep. Rome just try and pick up the ball. Freddy Bobic, I think, will stay more or less centrally, and Rod Wallace will provide the legs.
The big news from the Arsenal camp, the omission of top scorer Thierry Henry, left out ahead of Saturday's cup final. He's given cause for concern with a hamstring problem, but he is on the bench. Sylvain Wiltord returns ahead of schedule after a thigh injury that was expected to threaten his place in Cardiff, but has in fact just kept him out for 2 games. Sol Campbell is fit enough for the bench, but the fact that Tony Adams is playing his 10th league game of the campaign means that he would pick up his 4th championship medal if Arsenal were to win the league.
Well, the old guard back together, aren't they? Adams and Keown and Seaman in behind. That's a reassuring sight for Arsenal fans, especially with Sol Campbell coming back to fitness. On the flanks, they've got great energy. We've mentioned Ljungberg, but Ray Parlour, he'll attempt to get behind Simon Charlton tonight. He can run all day. And up front, yeah, missing Henry's an obvious blow, and Viltord has enjoyed his best periods out wide, and I think he'll probably be drifting out there again tonight. Bergkamp is enjoying one of his finest periods, I think, since the double year.
Bobic, the German international, who is part of the quality that Sam Allardyce brought in at the end of the campaign that helped to stabilise Bolton and ensured their safety in the Premiership for another season. A result that was secured by Manchester United's victory at Ipswich at the weekend. Now can Bolton return the compliment and do United a favour? Tony Adams and David Seaman, veteran of successful championship chases in the past, and looking to secure another one 4 years after their last League and FA Cup double.
Well, Tony's coming to the end of his career at Highbury, isn't he? And I'm sure he'd love to go out with a bang. He's not enjoyed the best of seasons, missed most of it, but he's going to be hungry now for these last couple of games to lead his team to glory.
Sir Alex Ferguson said Manchester United needed Blackburn to do a Devon lock back in 1995 if they were to win the league, referring to the horse that inexplicably faltered when a Grand National victory seemed inevitable. And now they require the same of Arsenal, for whom Bolton are cast in the role of one of those horses that's unseated its jockey, still there, an awkward competitor, even though they can't win anything. Sir Alex Ferguson, master of the psychological game, has built Bolton up, saying that this team is an embodiment of their resolute manager, Sam Allardyce, a rugged defender in his day. Well, Bolton are safe in the Premiership. They're already assured of their best finish in the Premier League. And if this side ends the season above 17th place, it'll be their highest placing for 40 years since they finished 11th in the old First Division. Well, this time a year ago, Manchester United had already been champions-elect for 15 days, while Bolton was still a month short of knowing that their future lay in the Premiership. Now it's Bolton who can relax, while Arsenal twitch over the uncertainty of what football scriptwriters have in store for them. The big game comes up live after the break.
Live Monday Night Football from Sky Sports. Bolton against Arsenal. If the Gunners win it, they're within touching distance. If they don't, they've got an anxious finish ahead of them. Player camp. First up, Sylvain Wiltord, who plays tonight instead of Thierry Henry. Match, that's on Sky Sports Extra for Sky Digital viewers, I should add. Match commentators, the former Gunners striker, Alan Smith and Rob Hawthorne.
Well, perhaps Arsenal saved their best for World Cup years. 4 years ago, under Frenchman Arsene Wenger, they won the double. 2 months later, France beat Brazil in the final they hosted. Now 5 members of the winning side that day are heavily involved in Arsenal's bid for another double. Patrick Vieira is at the forefront of the crusade to regain the title from Fabien Barthez and Manchester United. But Yuri Djorkaeff, a key figure in Bolton's revival, will help to make them as formidable an obstacle tonight as Marcel Desailly and Emmanuel Petit will be for Chelsea in Saturday's FA Cup final. The first of 4 games in 13 days that will decide Arsenal's double bid. And they get it underway. Attacking the goal to the left, this is Lauren. Parler. And in steps Farrelly. Parler concedes the first free kick of the evening, awarded by tonight's referee, who is Dermot Gallagher.
I think for large periods of this match-up, Tony Adams and Martin Keown are only going to have Freddie Bobic to mark.
Vieira clears the free kick. Kevin Nolan will let it run out. Hooked in by Franson. Looking to deliver the cross and getting the corner.
It's a little careless there from Lauren. He just let Djorkaeff creep in behind him to get 5 yards of space. Dangerous situation because Bolton are good at set pieces.
Djorkaeff, having won the first corner, takes it, and it's a disappointing one. Nolan, in truth, slipped as he came to collect the short ball. And that allowed Arsenal to anticipate and clear. Here's Per Franson, Simon Charlton. Vieira. They're under pressure. Taken down by Freddie Bobic. Here's Parler. Ashley Cole. Adams to Keown. Wiltord starting wide on the left, taking on Anthony Barnes. Ljungberg was in the middle, Sultan was Bergkamp, and Gotti has got it away.
I see straight away, as you said, Rob, how wide Wiltord is starting off, not just drifting over there, he's starting almost hugging that touchline and letting Ljungberg come inside to support Dennis Bergkamp.
Those clever runs of Freddie Ljungberg have yielded plenty of results in recent matches. 5 goals for him in his last 4 Premiership appearances. But Bolton looking to make the running here with Nolan. Away from Djorkaeff, there by Adams. Bolton have taken 8 points from the top 3 clubs already this season. No other side in the Premiership has taken more against that level of opposition. Draw against Arsenal earlier in the season, a draw against Liverpool, and wins against Liverpool and Manchester United. Here's Bergkamp. Wiltord out to the left, and Ljungberg has stayed in attack, but the offside flag is up there against Sylvain Wiltord.
Well, that's careless, isn't it? A cliche, you could see right along the line, and no need. He's very quick, Wiltord, and he had all the time in the world just to hang back. And once he did receive that, he was in a very threatening position. Players coming into the box, a real waste for Arsenal.
There was a goal from Sylvain Wiltord at Everton that set Arsenal off on this magnificent winning run. They're seeking a club record 11th successive league win here tonight. Nolan. Freddie Bobic. Deflected all the way through.
Bolton are getting in amongst the Arsenal players when they're on the ball, and there have been a few misplaced passes, courtesy mainly of some good pressure from Bolton. A good spin and a shot from Bobic.
Here's Ngotti. Edu. Simon Charlton.
When Bolton go forward, Rod Wallace makes very little effort really to get forward. He's down here below us and really just 10 yards inside Arsenal's half when that ball went forward and just sitting in there. So maybe that's a suggestion of how Bolton are going to play tonight. Just keep it tight, maybe first 20.
Here's Cole. Adams. Dennis Bergkamp. Now Ray Parlour. Edu. This is Lauren. Paul Wiltord, who's managed to stay onside this time, and he's kept it in. Ljungberg!
You'd bet on Freddie to do a little bit better than that, wouldn't you? Excellent play from Wiltord, picking up that marvellous pass from Lauren. It's a good first touch with a man closing in on him. Ljungberg, as he always does, breaks into the box and finds some space. You'd bet on him to keep that down and at least get it on target.
Superb scoring record this season for Freddie Ljungberg, 15 in all competitions, 11 of them in the Premiership. He hasn't been on the losing side after scoring since last season's FA Cup final against Liverpool in Cardiff. Lauren with the throw. In by Bergkamp. And Patrick Vieira. Attacked by Nolan. A real big game player for Bolton this season is Kevin Nolan. Scored their first goal in the Premiership. That remarkable opening day 5-0 hammering of Leicester. That pretty much set the tone for both clubs. Wiltord coming under pressure from Wallace.
Nolan and Per Franson are doing a good job just in front of that back four. When the likes of Vieira do get on it, there's not much room to thread balls through, and Arsenal do like that eye of a needle kind of play. And they're making it difficult, as you would expect.
Adams. Bergkamp this time has made the run and they've gone too early, offside.
Very little room actually for Bergkamp to run into there.
98th league meeting of these two sides, all but the first 4 in the top division. Arsenal unbeaten in the last 4, and they've won 3 of those 4 games. Here's Franson. Now Lauren. And again, a high line from Bolton this time, and it's Wiltord offside.
Yeah, they do like to do that, Bolton, and I saw them get caught out by Stefan Everson a couple of weeks ago when they were defending just inside their own half. Although they got caught that time through Wiltord, it's probably a source of some encouragement for Arsenal that they are defending that high off.
Ashley Cole. Bergson. Bergson's old club Spurs did Arsenal a massive favour at the weekend by virtually eliminating Liverpool in the title race. There's Adams. Vieira caught by Per Franson. There's Lauren. Vieira. And Ljungberg times his run to perfection as ever. He got something on it.
Well, he was onside on that occasion, and it's a couple of chances Ljungberg's had now. He's been in a great scoring run, and you wonder if he's come to the end of it. Difficult ball over the shoulder, one of the most difficult to take.
Farrelly helping it through this time.
just beyond the reach of Bobic. Barnes. Now France. Goodney Bergson. Charlton. Away by Lauren. Keown taking control and finding Wiltord.
Well, he did a good job there, Wiltord, holding it up under pressure, but just can't keep the ball long enough at the moment, Arsenal.
Bergson. Barnes. France. Wallace. Now Nolan. Barnes. Johnson running into Ljungberg. An effective tackle by the Swede, who's got Bergkamp up to his left, and Wiltord this time has made the move to the middle, along with Vieira. Important header away by Ngotti.
Yeah, good interception from Ngotti, but Ray Parlour was over the far side in acres. He had his arm up, and if Dennis Bergkamp could have just picked him out, he'd have had a shot on goal.
Arsenal's first corner. Keown has come forward for it. Adams thought about it, but decides to retreat. Edu takes it. Cleared by Bobic.
I do think that's an area that Arsenal can get joy on, those kind of set pieces, with the likes of Adams up there, Martin Keown. Very determined characters, challenging in the air. They've done it so often down the years.
Here is Adams. Barnes. Ashley Cole. Vieira. Bobic looking for Wallace.
Again, it was Per Franson just acting as a shield, just to cut that ball out from Vieira, which him and Nolan are doing so well. They're not able to get things started, the visitors, with the hard work of the two central midfielders for Bolton.
Adams. Keown. Cole. A regular feature of Arsenal's play, particularly recently, has been these intelligent runs from Ljungberg.
Yeah, and it really was a chance that he might think he should have done better with. He even had the opportunity possibly to bring it down. We've seen him finish from similar positions several times, haven't we?
Lauren. Turn from Parlour. Here's Patrick Vieira. Freddie Ljungberg. A win for Arsenal tonight would put Liverpool out of the Premiership race once and for all. More importantly, from Arsenal's point of view, would give them a 5-point advantage over Manchester United ahead of their visit to Old Trafford. As Manchester United prepare for their crucial game against Bayer Leverkusen, you can bet the news is filtering through regularly to their German training base. His clearance only clears to Franson, and now here's Farrelly. It's Keown's header away. Controlled by Ljungberg. For Vieira. Into it under pressure from Bergson. Vieira. Now Bergkamp. Parlour moves up ahead. And he on the wrong side as far as Bergkamp was concerned.
Yeah, just in that split second, I think, when Bergkamp just put his head down to pass the ball and Parler had gone in the other direction. But I think if anybody had any doubts about Bolton's commitment for this match, now that they're safe, I don't think there's any question that they're well up for it, and they're presenting quite a few problems.
Freddie Ljungberg. Sylvain Wiltord. Ljungberg again. Vieira. Parler's delivery, and Gotti hits it away.
And Arsenal do get into those positions sometimes, Rob, that they don't have enough men in the box. At times, Bergkamp is going to be up there on his own. On that occasion, it was actually Wiltord that he was going for.
Lauren looking to pull it back. Away by Gotti in the end. Djorkaeff just fails to keep it in. Here's Parler. Barnes away, now Cole. Edu. Aiming for Bergkamp. And got the call.
Yeah, a little bit straight away from Arsenal there, quite easy for Bolton to mop up. It's quite a curious, really, attacking formation that Arsenal are adopting, with Wiltord for large parts coming out onto the left, and Ljungberg unusually playing with his back to goal a lot of the time.
Nolan here looking to deliver for Bobic with a cross. And it's Vieira away. Franson. Arsenal may have more cause to be nervous on a night like this, but they've had the majority of the possession so far.
Yeah, and they've created two good chances, haven't they? Both for Ljungberg.
Parler. Vieira. Edu. Ljungberg just gets in front of Barnes. Cole looking to get in behind Wallace.
Well, it was marvellous play by Freddie Ljungberg just to spin and play in young Ashley Cole. His first touch just let him down, just took it wide, and from that moment Rod Wallace had him more or less under control. Very attacking player, Ashley Cole. I think that's his strength, really. At times, defensively, he can look a little bit suspect, but such a good athlete.
Yuri Djorkaeff of Bolton becomes the subject of player cam now for Sky Digital viewers on Sky Sports Extra. Who was bought by Arsene Wenger for Monaco from Strasbourg and really developed well under the now Arsenal coach. And the nickname of the Snake during his time there for the venomous strikes that he was able to produce. Here's Bobic. Challenged by Edu.
Came off Martin Keown there. Bobic has got a couple of yards. Nice touch and turn. Normally expect Martin Keown to be right.
Quick free kick from Djorkaeff. It's Charlton's cross.
Expecting to be right behind him.
Charlton almost the beneficiary of the quick thinking there of Yuri Djorkaeff, who set him away with a free kick. Franson. Lauren taking the decision out of Seaman's hands. Franson. Adams away this time. Ljungberg with a chance to relieve some of the pressure. Franson forcing him over the touchline.
He felt hard done by there, didn't he, Franson? I can see why. He's a very strong, committed player. Just eased him out. I don't think that was actually a foul.
Wiltord.
It's not quite happening. Two of these passes not coming off. Not a lot of space to play into, I must say. Bolton, the way they are defending, shutting down those corridors.
Here's Wiltord. By Cole to Ljungberg. Sylvain Wiltord. Challenge by Nolan. Now Jorpin. Retrieved by Vieira. This is Edu. Sylvain Wiltord to Cole. Oh, given away by Vieira. That was casual. This is Wallace. Vieira helps to retrieve. Adams who gets it away. Cole. Bergkamp. Across comes Bergson.
Patrick Vieira more than once has given the ball away.
There's a little bit of edginess about Arsenal at the moment. Here's Rod Wallace, and it's come off Ljungberg. But it was Kieran's mistake that set up that opening for Bolton.
Yeah, and Tony Adams, actually, I think he gambled that Rod Wallace was just going to cut the ball back, and he didn't in the end, and he took it forward. So that presented a big gap at the near post.
There's plenty of championship experience in the Arsenal ranks. 6 members of the side part of championship winning teams before. In many cases, more than once. And yet still, the closer you get, the more twitchy you become. Run by Barnes. Tony Adams, who's won 3 titles. Martin Keown, just the one in the double winning year of 98.
Well, that threesome, they should know where each other are without looking, shouldn't they? The amount of games they've had together.
There's 6 titles between them. Seaman has won 2. Barnes. Now Farrelly. Nolan picking it away from Edu, who just caught it with his arm.
To say this is one of the most purposeful Bolton performances I've seen this season. We know that they can perform against the big sides and get results against the big sides. It seems they're determined to do so tonight.
France, and there's 3 goals this season. The ball come from free kicks. It's a long way out though for him. Going to try though, Franson.
In circumstances like that, you're just looking for deflection, aren't you? I think it was a bit hopeful to be thinking he would beat David Seaman from there.
Well, we're at the start of a massive week that climaxes with cup final weekend, north and south of the border. Arsenal in action against Chelsea in Cardiff. Join us Saturday from noon on Sky Sports 2. While north of the border, it's Celtic against Rangers, an Old Firm clash in the Scottish Cup final. That's on Sky Sports 1. Coverage begins at 2 o'clock. Here's Gareth Farrelly. Wallace up ahead. He could stay down.
Yeah, again, good link-up play from Freddie Bobic, just holding it up, because he's battling for large parts against both Adams and Keown, just feeding in Farrelly.
2 nervous clearances from David Seaman, adding to the general air of tension about this Arsenal display, which is perfectly understandable, bearing in mind how high the stakes are. Their resolve has seen them through on plenty of occasions before, and that can Ljungberg break through. It was been tight, but he was offside.
He's a constant threat, isn't he, Ljungberg? Always looking just on that last line. And that is tight, isn't it? Maybe you would say an inch offside.
As we've seen already over this weekend, officials' decisions can have a big part to play when it comes to deciding championship issues, and in certain instances relegation issues as well. It's interesting, isn't it, that The one result that has gone against the championship chasing team over this weekend was against a side with nothing to play for in Tottenham. Manchester United's victory coming against a side that would also have had a little bit of tension in their ranks, Ipswich battling against the drop. Bolton could afford to be relaxed, but they're really making a go of it here. Pulled across by Jorkier, cleared by Keown, Farrelly. Charlton delivers, Nolan was waiting, and Cole gets in ahead of him.
Well, it was Jorkaev that started that move, and he's proving difficult to pick up while he's roaming across the line, dropping deep. Unless you put a man on him, it is difficult, and a man of his quality can cause quite a bit of damage.
Ljungberg meets the throw. Cleared by Vieira, but only to Per Franson. It keeps coming back at Arsenal at the moment. Franson's hit, blocked by Adams.
Well, Ashley Cole's took a knock there, hasn't he, in the face by the looks of it. But again, Patrick Vieira giving it away. Tony Adams now having a quiet word, because he's had a few of those. Just not been able to find the right shirt. A red shirt, sorry, he has found a white shirt. Much to Arsenal's worry at times.
Anxiety then for Arsene Wenger at the moment. Cole's recovered, but Arsenal continue to be penned back here. And it's Jorkaev with the corner for Bolton. Whitney Bergson climbing. Jorkaev again. Found himself outnumbered, but won the free kick anyway against Vieira.
I think he was very clever there, the Frenchman. Saw Vieira, his international teammate, coming at him, and just tumbled over. Years of experience there.
Jorkaev's kick. Bergkamp away. Wiltord. Ljungberg getting forward to support him just inside. Parler's on the far side. Could break here to Ljungberg off Farrelly. And Gotti's back covering.
It's a dreadfully poor ball by Wiltord. Again with Ray Parler in acres of space.
Now Bergkamp looks to pick out Parler. It's originally a better ball, but Parler in the end unable to keep it in.
And when they have broke Arsenal, it is Ray Parler that's been the spare man. And on 2 occasions now they haven't been able to pick him up. Wiltord did see him, but it was a dreadful scuff that he attempted.
The closer the finishing line gets, sometimes the harder it is to reach. And for an Arsenal side that's finished the last 3 seasons trophyless, must just be that spectre of doubt hanging over them. Runners-up in the last 3 seasons since they won the double to Manchester United. And the shadow of United again looms large if they were to drop points here tonight. Ljungberg can't keep it in. Manchester United and Arsenal head-to-head in the week after the Cup final, Wednesday week, May the 8th. Make a date with us, Sky Sports 1 from 7 o'clock. You will not want to miss that one.
Certainly wouldn't want to be going to Old Trafford having to win that match, would you? Arsenal, if they can win tonight, of course, don't need to win at Old Trafford if they can beat Everton on the last day.
Parler. Cleared by Charlton. And Bobic. Foul on Vieira was by Per Franson.
You can just smell the nervousness, can't you, in Arsenal's play? So much at stake, and it's not that free-flowing football that we've come to expect all season. In the last few games we haven't seen that. Understandable.
Edu. Ljungberg. Ashley Cole. Lauren. Here's Cole. Edu. Able to bring it under control. Charlton was in quickly.
Just tried to flick it over Charlton's head, Edu. Vicious attempt.
Vieira. Dennis Bergkamp. If Arsenal were to draw here, it would leave Manchester United needing a win against them at Old Trafford to draw level on points but move ahead of them on goal difference. Going into the final matches when both are at home, Arsenal to Everton, Manchester United against Charlton. So even if Bolton were to hold out on this scoreline, it would do Manchester United a huge favour. But Arsenal, remember, have scored in every single Premiership match they've played this season. Barnes. Farrelly. Seaman comes and claims.
Good play by David Seaman, but again the cross coming in from the dangerous areas, and he was put into a good area as well. Arsenal have got to try and stop that.
Was broken too early. The other thing they have to try and stop is the amount of offsides.
Yeah, well, credit Bolton here. They're holding the line with a lot of discipline, look. And he was onside, I think, wasn't he, to be fair? I mean, we've seen that so often when it's borderline and when the player is level. The referee's assistant usually puts his flag up, which is a shame. And a dangerous game, though, Bolton, the way they are holding the line pretty high up the pitch.
Plenty of those offside decisions so far have been very tight calls. And he's making the decisions, Nigel Bannister. Here's Barnes. Ljungberg was lurking. Player cam for the final quarter of an hour or so in the first half. We'll concentrate on Tony Adams for Sky Digital viewers on Sky Sports Extra. Anton Keown to Vieira. Bergkamp. Lauren. There's Wiltord. Vieira. Edu. Cole. He's caught by Rod Wallace. Here's Parla. What a hit by Parla. A rasping drive.
Fine strike from Mo Parla. Just found himself a few yards of space. Not too far away, Jeskalainen. Maybe not too sure where his top corner was and where that ball was going.
Arsenal team of somebody who hasn't scored in the Premiership this season. The only goal he has managed came in the FA Cup.
Yeah, he should score more, but he gets into the positions, and it's the criticism that's been levelled at him since his professional career began, really. He should get on that score sheet a little bit more.
Here's Parla. Vieira had checked his run. And here's Charlton. Bobic.
his throw. Franson. Overhit by Per Franson. He was part of Bolton's last Premiership campaign. Never present when they got relegated. This is the first time that they've been in the Premiership that they've survived to play more than one season. It really is a remarkable achievement. With them having come up via the playoffs last season. Here's Bergkamp. Freddie Ljungberg. Pulled across here to Wiltor. Somewhat lacking in support. Parler's in there. Bergkamp has arrived now, and it goes between them. Here's Vieira. Now Bergkamp. Only Wiltor in the box for Arsenal. Ljungberg's joined him now. Freddie Ljungberg! It's that man again! 6 goals in 5 Premiership appearances. Just how valuable will the strikes of Freddie Ljungberg be in this Championship quest of Arsenal Football Club?
Well, if you don't buy a lottery ticket, you won't win the raffle. I mean, Freddie does it so often, puts himself in these positions. It was good grafting away from Wiltor, nearly broke to Bergkamp. Very close, but he makes these diagonally well-timed runs so often, and there's no better man to pick him out than Dennis Bergkamp. It's an old one too that's proved very fruitful of late, and how important will that be? Beautifully timed in off the post. Similar to the goal really he got against West Ham. Copybook.
Bolton look for a quick response. Farrelly though is closed down by Tony Adams. A big goal though for Arsenal, and Freddie Ljungberg, who had carried the main threat to Bolton in the opening half hour anyway, is the man to break through.
I just wondered if those 2 misses were going to prove costly, but he's got great mental strength, the Swede, and nothing phases him.
Vieira's header away. Now Charlton. Whitney Bergson. Parler. Edu. By Bergson. Well, Freddie Ljungberg never seems to merit a mention when the talk of awards comes around, with the likes of Pires and Henry more to the fore, but how crucial his goals have been this season. Franson, Nolan, and it's Ljungberg who's got away again. He's got Parler up to his right, and he's going to use him here. Wiltor's tearing in from the left, and Parler looks to deliver for him. Great ball in the end. Wiltor tries to pull it back and wins the corner.
That was an excellent ball by Ray Parler, because he only had Wiltor to aim for. Ljungberg was breaking his neck to get in there, but there was one red shirt in the box, and he very nearly found him.
Bergkamp with a corner. Adams has come forward for this one. Nolan. Rory Jorpe. Farrelly. Behind Wallace. It's minded up by Lauren. Who picks out Dennis Bergkamp.
Just taken the edge of nerves off, hasn't it? You just see their shoulders relax a little bit now, the Arsenal players, when they're in possession. You know they're a goal up, and it's going to be mighty difficult for Bolton to get one back. And they're superb in these situations. They can keep the ball. Vital time to get it as well. 5 minutes or so before half-time.
Freddie Ljungberg. Score again, the Arsenal goal. Looking for a way through Nolan and Barnes. Between them put up the no entry signs that time. Here's Jorpe.
Carlos tackle affair, one felt Dermot Gallagher. Lauren. Parla. Looking for Freddie Ljungberg. Away by Bergson, and then by Barnes, and now Ashley Cole. Sylvain Wiltor. Arsenal, despite getting that goal, will have seen enough of Bolton already to know that they will need the comfort of at least a second. Here's Vieira. Keogh. By Ngotti.
Now that's the one thing with Bolton, Rob, they won't give up. Seen them countless times, and you think they're down and out, fight the way back into it.
Beaten just once in their last 6 home games, Derby becoming the 6th successful league visitors here, but it is their last home game of the season before they finish the campaign at West Ham, and they will look for a rousing finish. So there will be no way that Arsenal can rest on their laurels. If Freddie Ljungberg opened the scoring for Arsenal.
Well, it was textbook, wasn't it? A beautifully timed run, and that little flick of Bergkamp's in off the post. You couldn't really fault Bolton's defending because the man had followed him, and every goal that's scored now, I think you're going to see that kind of celebration. Such is the tension.
Well, he's a player who's hard to ignore, isn't he, with his hairstyle, Freddie Ljungberg. And his steady performances have been a real feature of Arsenal's season, and bear in mind that he scored his 16 goals, having missed a couple of months of the campaign between January and March, when he was out for 11 games with an ankle injury. Bergkamp here slips it through for Wiltor. Vieira was in the attack, and it was Charlton who turned it behind.
Yeah, good surge from Vieira, a little one touch off, and then he continued his run into the box, which we haven't seen too much in this first 45. But when he does do that, the big Frenchman, he just puts another body in there, creates all sorts of problems.
Bergkamp with a corner. Bergson gets in front of Tony Adams. As it stands, Arsenal would be 5 points clear of Manchester United, and a result like this would leave them needing 2 draws from their remaining matches against Manchester United away and Everton at home to clinch the title. Ljungberg, Edu, and Ngotti away. We've talked about Arsenal's spirit and resilience. Bolton have been famed for that too, as Arsenal found to their cost earlier in the season. When Franny Jeffers had put Arsenal ahead, Bolton kept going and got their breakthrough in the 83rd minute through Michael Ricketts, and this having been reduced to 10 men when Ricardo Gardner was sent off. Here's Franson. Away by Adams. Ljungberg, the goal scorer for Arsenal. Now Parla. Arsenal certainly seem to have settled into their stride after a nervous opening half hour. Wiltor, tackled by Jorke. Ljungberg lets it run this time to Bergkamp. Wiltor. Edu.
Well, they're comfortably dominating now, aren't they? Keeping the ball, just letting the clock tick down to half-time. They'll be well satisfied with the scoreline.
And here's Ljungberg again, and he's onside. Bergkamp the target, and Ngotti is there though. Charlton. Bergkamp in pursuit.
Sam Allardyce has got, of course, his Dean Holdsworth and Michael Ricketts on the bench if need be. Put them on the other day against Spurs, and it worked a treat. Holdsworth scoring. It's a useful option for him.
Bergkamp and Wiltor through. Could be 2, and is! It's a vital second for Arsenal to calm the nerves still further. And the Arsenal fans buoyant because this would be a big, big win in the championship chase.
Yeah, well, scored by Wiltord, but made again by the Dutch master, Dennis Bergkamp. He gets in these positions and you just can't allow him to settle on the ball because he can pick out a teammate. And a very competent finish indeed by Wiltord. He had plenty of time to pick his spot. In the end, a little bit fortunate through Jeskalainen's legs, but 2-0. Coming back from that, you wonder if Bolton have got it in them.
The offside trap that was the source of so much frustration for Arsenal early on has been sprung twice now in the closing stages of the half. Ljungberg and Wiltord getting the measure of it to give Arsenal a lead that, if they maintain it, would put them 5 points clear at the top of the table with 2 games remaining. Now here's Lauren. Franson away. Wiltord. The confidence now starting to seep back into Arsenal after a really uncertain and edgy start.
You saw the reaction of Dennis Bergkamp there, didn't you? Just his fist clenched. Really hurt when he missed the FA Cup final in that double year. Eager to make up for that.
Edu. Ljungberg. Wiltord. Well, Arsenal are continuing to close in on that title. It was an edgy and uncertain start for Arsene Wenger's team, but my, how they've settled the nerves in the last quarter of an hour. Freddie Ljungberg almost inevitably breaking through for the first. Sylvain Wiltord restored to the lineup tonight, getting the second to calm the nerves of the Arsenal fans. Bolton 0, Arsenal 2 at the break.
And remember, after the Cup final, attention turns back to the Premiership, and we'll be at Old Trafford to see Manchester United play Arsenal. Wednesday, May the 8th, 7 o'clock start, live on Sky Sports 1. Well, what did he say? They're a threat, threading balls through the middle. Arsenal lead by 2-0, having done just that. Ljungberg and Wiltord, and they're just that little bit nearer now. And his thoughts when we come back. If they avoid defeat at Manchester United, the title will be theirs. So it becomes a title decider at Old Trafford, a week Wednesday, if it stays like this. It wasn't as though they weren't warned, was it?
Well,
Bolton.
I mean, people know about them. We know what kind of form Freddie's in. You and I talked about it beforehand. I mean, they were warned earlier on. If you look at this build-up, this is the first chance Freddie had. What I was talking about, Richard, was if I was saying Bolton and I was saying, where do you want Arsenal to go, and you give them the ball in that position, I would think they're less dangerous if you can keep them going there. Keep them going on the outside. And then if you can do that, you can then deal easier, I think, with anything that comes across the face. That's what I would try and do, or I've said to players to try and do. But what they do is they come inside a little bit too easy. They're allowed in, cross-field. Now this is when they become a danger. Here he is, look at Freddie. There he is there. You can see the arm is already out. I talked about opposite side of the pitch. People tend to get attracted to watching the ball, but Freddie's run is going to be in here, straight across, because like I talked about, remember Kevin Coban?
Yes.
Keep yourself on side, run across defenders, and then in. So Freddie does that, across the defender, pointing, not offside. Ooh, how they got away with that, we don't know. So that was a little warning right then and there, and you think, well, maybe they'll start sending them outside again. But the goal was just an absolutely fantastic goal. For the first time, they really do commit an awful lot of men forward. There's 5 white shirts now are out the game, but look how often Dennis Bergkamp there, Freddie Ljungberg here. Now look at this, watch where he comes from. Now, just remember after he's played that ball, where he is.
Great little touch to get round the other fella too.
It is, but because they don't cross the ball as well, Richard, the front man here has done a great job. He's got himself in front of the defender, because he knows he's not going to chance for a header, so he gets in front of the defender, makes something of it, keeps the ball alive, Then suddenly Dennis Bergkamp's back on the scene. They just about get it away, but watch Botby screen closely. Watch closely.
He's just unattended, isn't he?
No, here he comes. Here he comes. The run. I could almost tell you what it's going to be. It's going to be across the defender and in. It keeps him onside. It keeps him onside because he goes across the face of the defender. It's just fantastic.
There's still work to do to find him, isn't there?
Yes, Dennis Bergkamp's contribution in both goals is huge. And as he comes in, there he goes. Crossing it. The defender looks too late. He can't do anything now. If the ball's...
Should he have gone with him or stayed up?
Well, I think when it's as tight as that and he's running across the line, Richard, I think you have to track him. The one thing he did, as soon as he looked away from the ball, Freddie was across him. Done.
That was for 1-0, and Arsenal got the comfort cushion that they needed just before the interval.
This one, I mean, again, this is all down to Dennis Bergkamp, but you see, coming out here, look, I'll just circle him as he walks out. There's a goal scorer. Again, they get in rather easily. You know what I'm saying? I would have rather they'd have forced the ball wide here. But what they've allowed it to be done is they've allowed it to be fed into Dennis, and that's danger. And now he's got a great position, Will Todd. That's not offside. I think that's allowed to go, and having gotten himself in there, it's 2-0. I think it's a tough way back for Bolton now.
Arsenal nearly there. That's what they'll be thinking. It makes a long journey north all the more palatable. 2-0 to the Gunners. Second half is next. 2-0 to the Gunners. If they win here, they'll be able to enjoy the weekend just a little bit more. The FA Cup final, of course, this coming Saturday midday. Arsenal meet Chelsea live on Sky Sports 2 at 2 o'clock on 1. Time for 2-0, and this is how it feels to be the skipper of Arsenal. Tony Adams, who was a player count feature at that time. They're back. They're halfway to what would be a very, very big win. Just avoiding defeat at Manchester United would then give them the title. Come on, Dennis. We're waiting for you. It's extraordinary, Andy, isn't it?
Fantastic. A little bit of history, though, there tonight already, Richard, if they win this game. They've never got more than 78 points in a Premiership season. This would take them above that point, so well done Arsenal already.
Goals again as well.
They've only conceded 3 as well, Richard, in this 10-game run, so they've got a huge job on. But Freddie's been absolutely invaluable.
That Freddie Bobic is the feature of Player Cam. Let's rejoin Alan Smith and Rob Hawthorne.
Can't imagine that the half-time news from the Reebok Stadium has particularly helped Manchester United's preparations for their crucial match against Bayer Leverkusen tomorrow. They'll be hoping for a Bolton revival. And the one thing in Bolton's favour is that they can mount the attempt for one with no detriment to themselves. They know that they are safe, so they can go out all guns blazing, as Manchester United and Liverpool, of course, will hope that they do, because this result, as it stands, would rule Liverpool out altogether and would leave Manchester United needing to beat Arsenal in the head-to-head meeting of the sides at Old Trafford to maintain their own interest in the Championship race.
Bit surprised actually, Rob, that Michael Ricketts isn't on this half. I thought we might have seen his physical presence really try and ruffle the feathers of Keown and Adams, who, after a wobbly start, were fairly comfortable.
First half that started with a quiver, such was the tension for Arsenal, but ended with a swagger. And Bolton make them think again by striking back. Just beyond Ljungberg's reach, that's Barnes in the way. And here is Tony Adams. We've seen just a moment ago what that second goal meant to him. And he would dearly love to pick up yet another medal, part of that team, as was Alan Smith in 1989, that went to Liverpool and won it in the final game of the season. There could be a similar scenario this time, going to the reigning champions to claim the title.
When you get to Tony Adams' age, I think these achievements, they mean more almost. You don't get blasé about them because you can appreciate that it might be your last, and you saw by Tony's reaction how much it meant to him.
Here's Dennis Bergkamp. Patrick Vieira, whose future continues to be the subject of much speculation. Surely a double would help to make him feel a bit more settled.
still don't think he's the Patrick Vieira that we've come to know and love over the years, actually, in the Premiership. I saw in that first half, giving a few sloppy balls away. I don't know if his mind is completely on the job.
Branson here finds Simon Charlton. Now Djorkaeff. Here's Wallace. Given to Nolan. Adams sticks tight to him. Wallace pulls it across. Bobic was climbing. Free kick had been given.
Lundberg just diving in. Tony Adams did well initially just to hold up. Nolan was it, with using all of experience, didn't dive in, but a rash little lunge from Lundberg. Dangerous position for Bolton.
And Yuri Djorkaeff is the man over the free kick here for Bolton. Bjorn Bergson falls to Farrelly. Branson can hit them and does, but it was always travelling wide. And Djorkaeff does very well indeed to keep that in. Seaman's handling has been exemplary tonight.
Well, just when you needed your keeper just to help you out as a defender, David Seaman did just that. Just plucked it out of the air, but fantastic skill from Djorkaeff to keep the ball in and put it in back into the danger area.
Bergkamp. Forced down by Wallace.
I think Wallace is unlucky there. And if Dennis fancies a little pop at this, it's quite a long way out.
Bergkamp ambitious.
Neither one nor the other, really, was it? It was half cross, half shot.
Djorkaeff gets in front of Keown, who still gets his head to it though. Farrelly. Now Palmer. Lauren. Keown. This is Edu. It's a wayward one from him. Wallace looking to put Djorkaeff through, and Keown got a touch to it, and the nerves are just starting to creep back in. Edu gave it away in the first place. Keown concedes the corner.
Just a lack of concentration, I thought, that Edu. He had the time to pick out his man, but very sloppy pass indeed across the face of his own goal.
Farrelly. Bergson gets in. And gets the corner.
Yeah, well, again, David Seaman came. He made a positive decision. In that instance, he was a little bit too late. Bergson got there first. Little period of pressure here for Bolton that Arsenal have got to just see out in these early moments.
Nolan, who's taken the kick. And here's Charlton. Adams away. Djorkaeff. Again Adams away. And here's Freddie Ljungberg. And if Arsenal thought they were going to coast it to the finish, Bolton forcing them to think again. Nolan, Branson. Kevin Nolan once more. Djorkaeff. Nolan. Farrelly. It's Kevin Nolan. It's Yuri Djorkaeff, and he's worked his way through brilliantly in the end. Keown, one obstacle too many, took it around him, and Seaman again made a positive decision.
Yeah, well, it was all a little bit too intricate in the end, but good play here just to pick out Djorkaeff. Bit of luck to start off with. Nutmeg Martin Keown, but too far. What's so fantastic about the Premiership and football in this country, though, Bob, isn't it, that you never get an easy game. Yeah, Bolton are safe, nothing really to play for apart from the points, but fighting They'll be fighting to the 90th minute, and we've seen it in a few matches, haven't we? Spurs beating Liverpool. West Ham very nearly beating Arsenal at Highbury the other night.
Vieira looking for Ljungberg, who's in there again. Bergson this time gets it away. There's by Charlton. Now Lauren. Bergkamp. Gotti brushed aside by Dennis Bergkamp. Bergson in the way. Lauren. Clearance by Farrelly. By Bobic.
Well, he needs help, doesn't he, Bobic? Bud Wallace is way out on the other side. Nobody within 20 yards of the German.
Ljungberg. Wiltor. Line equal to the eventual effort.
It's been much maligned, Sylvain Wiltord, but he has done a fantastic job for Arsenal this season, coming in. He never knows if he's going to get a game, and when he does, invariably, it's not in the position he would ideally choose, but he's weighed in with some very important goals. Think back to that one he got at Everton, that slightly fortuitous one where it bounced over the keeper. They do win the Championship, Arsenal.
He's through again, it's Sylvain Wiltord. Jääskeläinen got something on it, and it was enough. Just.
Well, he nearly got another of those important goals, didn't he? But for the hand of Jääskeläinen. Just managed to avoid that offside trap. And you wonder at that stage whether Bergson was going to run it into his own net off the post. The hand was strong enough just to deflect it towards that post. It's very easy as a defender, not knowing who's behind you, to steam in there and just shin it into your own goal. But Bergson did well.
Bergson scooping it out after Jääskeläinen had got an important hand on Wiltord's effort to divert it against the inside of the post. Here's Lauren. Arsenal well up on attempts. Look at that, 6 of their 8 on target. Well, it was one of those did it or didn't it cross the line goals scored against Arsenal by West Ham last week that was ruled out. Keown clears here to just subdue Wallace. You don't feel that one was anywhere close to crossing the line before Bergson got it away, do you, Alan?
No, not on that occasion, Rob, no, just hit the post and came out. No question that it was over the line, but we're going to have a substitution now. Michael Ricketts is coming on. The crowd like it.
I've been unhappy at his limited opportunities as Michael Ricketts, but he's getting his chance now. Freddie Bobic is making way for a man who, amongst his 15 goals this season, scored the equaliser at Arsenal in September when they were 1 goal down. He's also scored in wins against Liverpool here and Manchester United away. Can he now do those two clubs big favours by hauling Bolton back into this match? Farrelly looking for Ricketts straight away, and it skims off the top of Adams' head for the corner.
You can see there just the influence of Ricketts straight away, just by his physical presence. Tony Adams attracted to him and didn't even get anywhere near the ball, Ricketts, but caused the problem.
Farrelly's cross, Adams away.
Fantastic first half, or first 2/3 of the season, didn't he, Michael Ricketts? And I think he just ran out of steam then. Thoroughly deserved his England call-up, I felt, for the performances he put in. He's certainly a player of great potential.
He's got 14 Premiership appearances without a goal now, Michael Ricketts, so he's certainly due one. Don't forget when he scored that equaliser at Highbury back in September,
Bolton were actually top of the table, point clear of Arsenal, who are then in second place. Bergkamp. Here's Ricketts. Aiming for Wallace. Adams away. Barnes across. Kieran had stretched, but it was Lauren who cleared.
Arsene Wenger's got some substitutes warming up. He's got Henry, Carnu, Dixon. I wonder if he'll take the opportunity to use some of those.
Farrelly. Ricketts! Well, he got in front of his man and just couldn't apply the finish that Bolton required.
Yeah, he did well there. Striker's instinct just to dart ahead of Martin Keown, isn't it? He's a whisker away. Fantastic ball in from Farrelly.
Sylvain Wiltord has got one already and almost made it two for himself.
Yeah, I think you've got to put that down to a good save because it's a good low hard shot. Perhaps he could have put his foot through that. It's not over the line, I don't think. Well, it certainly isn't over the line for me. He's tried to place it past Escalainen, and in the end, because there wasn't as much pace on the ball, no, certainly not all over.
Farrelly. This is Lauren. Now Vieira. Edu. Parla. Cole. Ljungberg.
The England coach, Sven-Göran Eriksson, looks at Ljungberg, his compatriot, and just hopes he's using up all his goals in his good form before he heads off to Japan with Sweden. He certainly will be a thorn in England's side if he's playing like this.
It certainly is a worrying time for England. Ljungberg coming into the form that he has. Wiltord, and here's Ljungberg again, but he's offside anyway.
Well, Dennis Bergkamp complaining that he was pushed there just as he dinked the ball towards Ljungberg. Just got a little arm off. Very harsh to give that, I think. Bergson, just his momentum taking him into the Dutchman.
Michael Ricketts. Lawrence defending earns Bolton the throw. Farrelly the taker. This is Ngotti. Another change being made here by Bolton. And Jermaine Johnson, who made his debut in the match at Highbury back in September, will come into a Premiership match now for the first time since January at Rod Wallace's expense.
Rod Wallace hasn't really been able to make an impression. He's been out on that right-hand side. Not really seen too much of the ball, and when he hasn't been able to get at Ashley Cole. Jermaine Johnson, a very promising young lad.
Just a million from the Jamaican side, Tivoli Gardens, Jermaine Johnson. This is only his 14th appearance for Bolton. And straight into the action. Tackled by Cole. Wiltor. Bergkamp. This is Parlour. Now Vieira. Edu. Cole. Wiltor. Cole again. Youngberg has already been one of the stars of the show for Arsenal, and you can follow his movement now on Player Cam for Sky Digital viewers on Sky Sports Extra. Here's Parlour. Youngberg.
I can't think of many players, Rob, that just cover as much ground as Freddie Ljungberg does. He's fantastic value. Never seems to give up, never seems to stop. He's one of the fittest lads in the Premiership.
Bergkamp looking to get through. Bergson has it covered. France. Farrelly. He's offside.
I think he got it right that time. Ricketts had just strayed.
First time that Bolton had strayed into that trap, but it was a real source of frustration for Arsenal early on. Got the measure of it though twice in the closing 15 minutes of the first half, first through Ljungberg, then through Wiltor with the goals.
It's a reflection of the play they had, wasn't it? They dominated possession and gone forward on so many occasions. Just not able to time that ball and that run, but when they did get it right, it was lethal.
Thoroughly slipped. Lauren. Parlour. Here's Adams. Heavy tackle by Johnson. Bergson. Good touch by Nolan, who gets it back here from Ricketts. And loses out to Cole. Ljungberg. Cole advancing. Barnes tapping it.
Ashley Cole pushing forward more and more. Having to spell out, hasn't he, with a bad injury, and I think the more games he gets, the better for his own cause and England's cause as well, because I'm sure he's a certainty for that play to the Far East.
Parlour. Bergkamp. Parlour again. Vieira. This is Cole. Vieira. Keogh. Charlton charging in on Dennis Bergkamp, but Bolton just unable at the moment to break up Arsenal's comfortable possession. Wiltor, Lauren. A change being made by Arsene Wenger. And Lee Dixon is going to come on to take Edu's place. Looking to hold on to this lead that they've established.
Edu's worked hard. been all that influential in his forward play, but I think you're going to see a better player in him next year. His first season, and it's always a shock to the system. Obviously coming from Corinthians in Brazil, a totally different way of playing, but Lee Dixon, I think he needed 1 or 2 to qualify for a championship medal. If Arsenal did win, I'd be pleased to get a kick tonight.
He hasn't made it now. In fact, this is his 11th league appearance of the season. Lee Dixon, his 619th appearance for Arsenal, which puts him 2 behind George Armstrong, who's 3rd in the club's all-time appearance list. And the long servant here, Tony Adams, to Vieira. Adams second behind David O'Leary, of course. Here's Bergkamp. Now Laura. Parla. Short by Johnson. Morris put it away in the end, although Ashley Cole was convinced there was a handball there. Doubly aggrieved now with the award of a free kick against him.
Yeah, Jermaine Johnson, he's finding it a little bit difficult to get the pace of the tempo of it. A couple of times giving the ball away in dangerous areas. I'm sure he'd like to be further up the pitch, putting in Arsenal's goal rather than defending.
Farrell. Barnes. Vieira's tackle. Farrell's throw. Djorkaeff helps it on. Here's Ricketts. Franson. Bruno Ngotti. Adams. Cole. This is Farrelly. Nolan facing a difficult salvage job, and one that is just beyond him. Another Arsenal substitution. Kanu about to come on.
Sure, Arsene Wenger is delighted that his team is in a position to be able to do this and rest some players, particularly the likes of Bergkamp, who he will be looking to in Cardiff's Millennium Stadium to break through Chelsea's defence, and the form he's in, who'd bet against it. Kanu up there, nobody better at holding the ball. He needs a ball of his own at times, and as I say, good opportunity just to rest a few legs. Doesn't need to put Thierry Henry on, which I'm sure was a great relief to Wenger.
Dennis Bergkamp missed the '98 FA Cup final through injury, so he'll now be preserved in the hope that he can make up for that with a winning appearance against Chelsea on Saturday. And Kanu, who scored after coming on as a substitute against West Ham, on again now for the final 20 minutes. But Bolton could still make life pretty interesting in the Championship race if they could steal a goal back and just introduce a bit of self-doubt for Arsenal. There's been a lot more confidence since the opening phase of the game. Kanu's given away the free kick. Henry and Bergkamp, would you expect them to start up front on the weekend, Alan?
I think that's your pair, isn't it? That's your strike pair. There was a time when people weren't altogether sure who Thierry Henry's number one strike partner was, but Bergkamp's form has shot him into the slot alongside. I think they do suit each other very well indeed.
Arsene Wenger's left himself with some pretty interesting selection dilemmas for Cardiff, of course, not least with this man, David Seaman, who hasn't played in the cup run. Richard Wright has, but will Seaman be restored as number one on Saturday?
I think he will, Rob. Yes, Arsene Wenger has said he's going to play his best team. No disrespect disrespect to Richard Wright, David Seaman is his #1 goalkeeper. It'd be quite hard on the former Ipswich keeper because he's done well in the rounds.
Cleared by Ashley Cole.
Tonight's attendance at the Reebok Stadium and a new record.
Make sure you're with us for coverage of this weekend's FA Cup final. We begin at noon on Sky Sports 2 with coverage of Arsenal against Chelsea from the Millennium Stadium, Cardiff, and north of the border, Rangers against Celtic in the Scottish Cup final. Johnson driving it across the face of goal.
Yeah, that's what he's capable of, I think, the youngster, you know, just working in small spaces. He's got great tight control. Difficult angle, isn't it?
Well, a night for possible Arsenal records. They've set a new one for the crowd here at the Reebok Stadium. 27,351, precisely one more than Manchester United's visit attracted.
That's an omen.
1 point will be good enough at Old Trafford. A victory for Arsenal here would leave them 2 points short of the title, but the fact that they're playing Manchester United could see them clinch it with a draw there, and it'll be the same sort of night, presumably, that you endured when you went to Liverpool leading that win, Alan, by 2 clear goals.
Yeah, I'm not sure there'll ever be a night quite like that with the circumstances involved, but I'm sure Arsene Wenger would love to go to Old Trafford and actually clinch it. He knows what he's got to do now if they come out of this match with 3 points. I don't think you can ask for fairer than that.
Here's Sylvain Wiltord. Charlton. Dixon. Now Lauren. Parler. Adams. This is Canu. Now Vieira. It's short for Lauren. Ricketts came back with a challenge.
The other selection problem, of course, that Arsene Wenger's got with the cup final coming up is who does he play at centre-half? Sol Campbell's on the bench tonight, having recovered from his hamstring strain, and he's been superb for Arsenal this season, Campbell. In the absence of Adams for long periods, a real poser for Wenger.
The sentimental choice would be Tony Adams, but he's already made clear with his selection policy in the Premiership that sentiment will play no part. Adams is now up to the required number of league appearances to claim a medal if Arsenal, as expected, go on to win the Premiership. Everyone except Jussi Jääskeläinen now inside the half that Arsenal defend as Ngotti takes the free kick. Tony Adams meets. Now Barnes. Johnson's flick. This is Nolan. It's been a lot of Johnson to get there, and it was Cole who did. Farrelly's throw. Chilcair. He's pulled it across towards Michael Ricketts, and here's a great chance for Bolton, and Nolan doesn't make the most of it because Seaman tips it over.
Well, he's just tried to be too clever here. He's had so much time, and maybe that's not a good thing, isn't it? Ricketts wins it, and it's looping towards him, and he's just tried to loop it over Seaman and into the far corner. You know, in hindsight, would have been better perhaps to use power.
Adams got in front of Bergson. Now Johnson pulls it back across, and Keown has to get there because Ricketts was waiting to pounce.
It's got concentration now in these last 15 minutes or so for Arsenal. Bond get a goal back and could be the Alamo.
Nolan had that huge chance.
He's done well though, hasn't he, Kevin Nolan, in his first Premiership season. I mean, it's been a season of toil for the most part, and a youngster like that, to show the character that he has to excel in many games. Contributed a few goals as well, hasn't he? I think 8 goals.
Yes, and like Ricketts, he scored some big ones against Liverpool and Manchester United. Here's Jorka. Slips it through the legs of Ray Parlour. And gives it away to Kanu. Kanu getting himself into difficulties. Ngotti, Jorkaev, Farrelly. Now Ricketts. Bergson has stayed in the attack here. Charlton sweeps it across. Again, Nolan is the man they're aiming for. Now Bergson. Now the flag's up for offside.
It's a wonderfully accurate cross in from Simon Charlton with that trusty left peg of his. Caused all sorts of problems in the Arsenal rear guard. Shouldn't have really.
Kevin Nolan, who very nearly brought Bolton within reach of Arsenal's goal tally, becomes the subject of player cam now for Sky Digital viewers on Sky Sports Extra. It could still be a nervous last 12 minutes or so for Arsenal. Thierry Henry and his colleagues can't quite turn their attentions to Cardiff just yet. Still a job to be done.
I'd be amazed if Henry came on though, Rob. I really would. I think maybe he's just warming up. Make sure the muscle stays warm more than anything else. Doesn't need to put on his top scorer. Doesn't need to put on Sol Campbell.
Sir Alex Ferguson faced a delicate selection dilemma ahead of the Champions League match. So too did Arsene Wenger with the FA Cup final in mind. It's a busy programme to end the season with. There's Lauren. Now Lee Dixon. Lauren. Adams. Kanu. Lee Dixon. Wiltord. Adams to Keown. Now Dixon. This is Parlour. Lauren. Wiltord. Kanu.
Must feel like such hard work for the Bolton players now with 10 minutes remaining. Chasing red shirts all over the place.
Lee Dixon. Now Parlour. One goes astray, and at last Bolton sensed an opportunity to launch an attack. Good advantage played by the referee. Here's Jorkaev. It's fallen to Ricketts, who spots Farrelly. Will look for the corner off Keown and doesn't get it. Goal kick.
Look at Ricketts just playing it really out of the danger area there, where perhaps a touch and a shot would have been more dangerous for Bolton.
Form he was in earlier in the season, you'd certainly have expected him to have a go from there.
It's instinctive with the striker, isn't it? When you're on a run of goals, you don't really think about it when the ball comes to you. Touch, turn and a shot. When you're in a barren spell, everything's that little bit more difficult to make decisions.
Charlton.
will serve to keep the pressure on Bolton here. And if Arsenal do hold on here, this will outstrip what they achieved even during the double-winning season of '98. They strung 10 consecutive league wins together. This would be 11, a club record. Freddie Ljungberg, who started the scoring off the night, finds Vieira. And now Lauren.
Even more impressive, perhaps, Rob, is the statistic scoring in every game. It's some feat that, you know, and I think it's just a reflection of how they attack games, their attitude, always looking to go forward.
Nolan's away the free kick. And Wiltord goes across to take it. There's Ashley Cole. Wiltord. Keep ball again from Arsenal. Parla. Dixon just looking to grind Bolton into submission now. Loose touch though from Kanu. This is Farrelly. Jorkaye. Farrelly again. Sets wickets away. Keown out to release him. Vieira back there as well. Dixon's slip gives wickets another chance. Now Charlton. Jorkaye lines it up. Nolan! Brilliant strike that tests the woodwork. Jorkaye. What a hit that is as well, but Seaman in position to take it.
Well, it was that man Jorkaye that set it up with one of the most exquisite touches of the match for me. Just the outside of his foot into Nolan's path. There you go, have that, and Nolan can hit them. I think he'd have beat David Seaman. He was on target. His best moment of the match, really, in terms of free-flowing move.
Kevin Nolan has had their best moments of the match in this second half. A header tipped over by Seaman, that rattling good effort that's come back off the goal frame. It doesn't look as though the prayers of Manchester United and Liverpool are going to be answered. 5 minutes still left though. Games come up in quick succession straight after the cup final. Manchester United against Arsenal Wednesday week. Be with us 7 o'clock, Sky Sports 1 for that game. It could be, in fact it looks like being, the Premiership decider. Johnson. Seaman watches it safely past.
Yeah, another good effort from Johnson, cutting in from the right. Showing good skills again, and also showing that he knows where the goal is, too far away.
We've been talking about impressive Arsenal records. Victory here would also break a 24-year-old club record for consecutive away wins. It would be their 7th in a row. And if Arsene Wenger's team could then maintain their unbeaten away record at Old Trafford in the game that would be billed as the Championship decider, they'll become the first team since Preston, the first year of the Football League, to go through an entire season without having lost a league match away from home. First team to do that in the top division.
Well, is that real?
Is that counting chickens before they're hatched?
You can always burst it, I suppose.
Pratt. Bolton have given it their all to try and burst the Arsenal bubble in the second half, but no joy so far, despite the best endeavours of Nolan, who's produced their 2 best opportunities. To be a late revival there from the home team. Keown just a bit anxious then. Dixon got it away. Ngotti. Farrelly. Charlton. Parler. Ljungberg. Parler again. And Sylvain Wiltord. Parler saw an opportunity to finish it, but Ngotti was just as wise for that chance.
He should have shot himself, Wiltord. Got inside, did most of the hard work.
Vieira. Tony Adams. Now Parler. Dixon. Lauren. Here's Wiltord. Cole has made the break from the back and he's got inside Johnson here. It's Ashley Cole! Oh, the woodwork again! And as with Wiltord earlier, it hits the woodwork and comes out.
Well, he's made enough of those runs, Ashley Cole, and in the end he was rewarded. Did ever so well to spin on the chance and deliver a shot. Very unlucky.
Safe now for Arsenal, just dependent on the amount of stoppage time that is added on. Ljungberg. Adams. Keogh. Now Lauren. Dixon. Adams.
It's been a thoroughly professional performance this round, exactly what they needed.
2 minutes of stoppage time added on.
Potentially a tricky tie, wasn't it? They've approached it very well, taking the chances when they needed to.
Here's Johnson. Vieira and Parler between them managed to get it away. And Sol Campbell is going to be eased back into action just ahead of the FA Cup final, coming on for the final minute or so of stoppage time. Sylvain Wiltord coming off.
And he's just a little reminder that Sol's back. Arsene Wenger wouldn't put him on if he wasn't 100% fit. That hamstring now, he's good and strong, and so Tony Adams and Martin Keown look across and think, well, which one of us might give way in the final on Saturday? Of course, neither of them. Both of them might play, but Campbell, for me, has been the rock at the heart of the defence this season. He's been the continual presence with Adams and Keown injured for large chunks of the season.
Decisions for Arsene Wenger to wrestle with over the next few days. Here's Lauren. Dixon. Parler. Vieira. Campbell at least gets a touch.
Midfield, isn't he? Centre midfield. The next Patrick Vieira, perhaps.
There is Vieira. Now Cole. Jason Gotti, Kevin Nolan. All eyes on the referee, including Arsene Wenger's. Arsenal are almost there. A point at Old Trafford will be good enough for them to prize the Premiership trophy away from Manchester United. They're 5 points clear with 2 games still remaining, and that match against the current champions looming on the Wednesday after the cup final. Sylvain Wiltord, who started this remarkable run of 11 successive league wins with the winner at Everton, scored the second tonight on the night of another professional display in which Freddie Ljungberg made the breakthrough. It was a nervous opening half hour, but within the last quarter of an hour of the first half, Arsenal had got the 2 goals that put them in front, and from which Bolton were unable to recover. Nolan went close a couple of times in the second half, but it's the Arsenal fans who are in confident mood, looking at a very healthy-looking Premiership table. Ljungberg and Adams go over to acknowledge the immense support. Fans who are looking forward now to a memorable night at Old Trafford, and in between, a cup final to look forward to as well. What a climax to the season it's looking like being for Arsenal Football Club. This is a big win for them. It was a potential banana skin. Bolton had taken 8 points off the top 3 before tonight, beaten by another thoroughly professional display. Bolton 0, Arsenal 2.
And they know it. They know it, Andy, don't they? Avoid defeat at Old Trafford, and it's theirs.
Professional performance, Richard, I have to say. I agree with Alan Smith. Thought they were excellent. Weren't many faults and many flaws in the game tonight. They had the look of champions about them, if I'm being honest. They have a belief there now. I think they all thought this was a hurdle they had to get over, and it's a massive one for them.
It also means that Liverpool are out of it. 11 straight wins for Arsenal, that's a new club record. 7 straight away wins, that's a new club record. It equals Manchester United's Premiership record. They're unbeaten in 18 on the road, a run which stretches to the back end of last season. That too is a new Premiership record. I think we can safely say that we've been watching the champions tonight. If you'd like to be on Sky Sports, give us a call. 09009 100 200 is the telephone number. That follows at 10:30 here on Sky Sports 1. It's cup final day in England and Scotland this coming weekend. Saturday at noon, we're in Cardiff to see Arsenal again play Chelsea. When we come back, Andy's thoughts on a big night for the Gunners. That's how it looks now. 5 points the gap, and then there were 2. Big fella, he must feel like he's won the championship. Sam Allardyce, just 1.3 million he spent this season in keeping them afloat. I wonder, Andy, if anybody made or took more telephone calls in the pursuit of those loan signings that he brought in. Djorkaeff, who probably kept them up.
Might have done. I think they've all contributed, certainly latterly. Freddie Bobic contributed with goals in the last 6 games. Djorkaeff with his influence, with his goals, with his quality of play. But he's travelled not only the length and breadth of this country this year, but he's been all over Europe, as you and I know, looking at players, scouting, trying to bring people in. He lives that club 24 hours, 7 days a week, 52 weeks a year. Right, have a good summer, big man. You thoroughly deserve it. Yeah, you're entitled to your bow.
All right, take it back. Yeah. Well played. Arsenal won it tonight. The man of the match and the guy who had a big influence on it, both waiting to talk to us with Claire Tomlinson.
Freddie, now the points are in the bag. Can you tell me how much tension there was going into the match tonight?
We knew it was very, very important, and it's always difficult away. So, but when we got a goal, it felt a little bit better, and then Yeah, 1-2-0, so it was all right.
You're on a fantastic goal-scoring run at the moment. How can you keep that going to win the title and the cup for Arsenal?
I don't know. I just play in a great team, and then it's easy. So I thank all the other guys, and especially Dennis.
Dennis being thanked for helping out. How much do you feel you did have an influence on the game tonight?
Well, it was a difficult game, a bit tight. We managed to create some space in the first half, at the end of the first half, and yeah, then you have to punish them straight away. Otherwise, it's going to be difficult. And we've done that before half-time, and yeah, second half was a little bit easier then.
Do you feel now you only have to get a draw at Old Trafford to win the championship? Like you've got one hand on that trophy?
Well, only a draw at Old Trafford. It's going to be quite hard, of course, to play them. We know what we want, and we know in what form we are. But yeah, we look forward to every first match that comes our way now, and that's for now the cup final. So,
Freddie, would it be extra special to actually win the championship at the home of the champions?
Yeah, maybe for the fans. I would be happy to win it anyway. Like Dennis said, we should take each game at a time now, and hopefully we can win it.
You were around in '98 when the league was Arsenal's. Does it feel the same at the moment? Do you feel you've got that same momentum?
Well, the closer you get, of course, yeah, it reminds you of that season. But yeah, there are similar things from that season and this season. But we know exactly what we've done that time, and let's take each game as it comes. And as I said, that's for us now the most difficult but most important thing.
Can you put the league away now and concentrate on the cup final now these points are in the bag?
I definitely hope so. I think so. I mean, we were very disappointed last year, so hopefully we can have our concentration very well this time.
Records falling all over the place. That's 11 successive wins, 7 successive away wins. What does it feel like? What does it mean to you to be creating Arsenal history?
I don't really think about that much about history. I never won anything at Arsenal, and I'm just trying all my best to all the team to get something here.
Well, you've got a collection of these Man of the Match awards. Dennis, could you do the honours? Barclaycard Man of the Match, Freddie, well done.
Very well done, mate. Thank you very much. All right, thank you.
Bridesmaids in each of the last 3 seasons. Are they going up the aisle this year?
I think so. And I'm just looking at a few facts and figures. It's interesting. It's apt that those two should be together, Richard, tonight, because against Charlton, Freddie's goal supplied by Bergkamp. Against Tottenham, a big goal supplied by Bergkamp. Against West Ham, a massive goal supplied by Bergkamp. Tonight, huge goal supplied by Bergkamp.
Well, maybe Dennis is right. If he'd been in all season, they would have been 10 points clear by now.
Well, they might have been, but you cannot underestimate. And as we've said, at a time when Thierry Henry has had three and a half games where he hasn't scored, their main goal scorer, and Dennis being a supplier, they've needed someone to step forward. And my goodness, hasn't Freddie Ljungberg done that in tremendous fashion? I cannot remember a player other than a striker having such an impact in scoring goals in big games in the run-up to the end of the title. I mean, Freddie's been sensational, and you can't put a price on that. I don't think Arsene Wenger could put a price on the value of Freddie Ljungberg's goals in the last 5 weeks playing for his team.
Arsene Wenger is waiting to talk to us. Arsene, good evening to you.
Good evening.
You took some criticism, Arsene, a couple of weeks back when you said, I'm 100% sure we can win this title. For how long have you had that belief?
Well, for a long time, because the team has a special spirit and a special mental strength, and you feel that when you're every day with the boys, even now in the dressing room. They know it's not done, and they're of course very happy, but they are really still concentrated.
I was just been talking about Freddie Ljungberg, Arsene. Can you describe how important his performances have been in the last 5 or 6 weeks?
Well, it's very difficult to say because he gets you the important goals, and I didn't expect him, frankly, to be as much a goal scorer when I bought him, but he has developed very well, and his runs off the ball are absolutely tremendous, and when you have a guy like Dennis Bergkamp behind, of course, he's always dangerous, but he's as well a little bit or really what the team is. It's strong desire, mental strength, and a lot of character. He's a real winner, and the team is exactly like that.
I just wonder, Arsene, was it a gamble leaving Thierry Henry out?
Well, yes, it was. I had 2 problems before the game because I pushed Wiltord in with only 1 day training and pushed Thierry on the bench because he had tight hamstrings, and I didn't play Sol Campbell as well because we had 3 problems, and I was scared that with 3 players not being 100% fit, we would have a problem if somebody else is injured.
It looks to me as if you're going to have to disappoint one of those 3 magnificent centre-backs come next weekend.
Well,
Arsene.
yes, but they are doing extremely well, and Saul was not completely confident that he could make 90 minutes, and because I had other players who had small niggles, I didn't want to take a chance.
This run you've been on, Arsene, has there been anything consistent throughout your team that's been the reason why your team have gone on this fantastic run?
I would say, first of all, the potential and the quality of the players and the team spirit, and as well maybe the frustration we got together and over the last 2-3 years, and we said, okay, let's have a real go, and we want to be first and not second this year, and maybe then the results one after the next one. But as confident as I am, but we want to keep a concentration on, and we have a big game now on Saturday, and then we go to Man United, and then we play at home against Everton, so we want to finish the season well and want to win now this championship.
Much has been talked about, is this side better than 98? I'm not going to ask you that, but is this squad you have better equipped to cope with injuries and win a title than 98
so,
was?
because we played 12 Champions League games, and we had at some stage 10 injured players and first-team injured players, and still went away. For example, we went to Newcastle, a very important game, and won. We had important players out against Liverpool and won. So it's the best squad I had, yes.
Just a couple of things, Arsene. Has there been a determination about the club to go back to Cardiff and put to rights what went wrong last season in the final?
Well, yes, I must say honestly, not a lot went wrong last year in the cup final. We delivered quite overall a good performance, but we didn't go home with a trophy, and we did everything we could to come back and this time to win it.
And going to Old Trafford, now does it matter to you if you go there and just avoid defeat to secure it, or would you like to go there and win?
We go everywhere to try to win, but of course it's a special game, and but we will be up for it. Let's first concentrate on the FA Cup, and then we'll see how we prepare the Man United game. But we always try to win the game, and no matter how big the game is.
And a word for Manchester United tomorrow night. Would you like to see them in that Champions League final?
Yes, well, we have still a good chance, and it's always fantastic when the English clubs go through, and I think we represent overall English football, and that's always great. If Man United goes through, I'm very happy.
Thank you for joining us, and thank you for entertaining us as well thus far. Good luck at the weekend.
Thanks, Arsene.
Thank you.
And of course, good luck to Chelsea too. For anyone accuses us of having any bias.
Oh no, it'll be a great final.
It'll be a fabulous final, yeah, very much so. He says not much went wrong, but I mean, coming home without the trophy, that went wrong, didn't it?
Yeah, I thought for 83 minutes they were excellent, apart from finishing Liverpool off. 1 or 2 things went against them, 2 or 3 cleared off the line by Sami Hyypiä. It was an extraordinary day where, by the time Michael scored his first goal, Michael Owen, the game could have been meaningless. That's how in top I felt Arsenal were last year. But the game lasts 90 minutes. Is Liverpool know that more better than any club in this country, Richard, and to have lost it in the manner they did. I don't think losing it at times is, if you deserve to lose it, fine, you can accept that. But it's the manner of the loss that I think grates with everybody at Highbury.
Sometimes London finals leave the rest of the country cold, but not this year. This one's got the lot, hasn't it?
It's a London final involving 2 London sides, yes, but there's a galaxy of stars from all over Europe, great players on both sides, Hasselbank, Gudjohnsen, Henry, Bergkamp, Vieira. I mean, you could go on, Petit, Desailly. I mean, it's cosmopolitan, Richard. It'll be it could be one of. It could be, and everyone says this every year, and I know that often they let you down. But I do think both of these teams have such a positive outlook in the way they go and shape up the games. There's no use having Jimmy and either on your side if you're not going to play and get the ball to them. There's no use having Henry and Ljungberg and Bergkamp if you're in your side if you're not going to try and get the ball to them. So we're going to have 2 teams, I think, that might just have a little rattle at it.
For the first time in the Premiership, Arsenal are through the 80-point barrier, and they are within touching distance of this title. Runners-up in each of the last 3 seasons. Not this year, perhaps. Story of the game and more is next. Inched closer then to the Premiership title.
Well, he talked about not doing a lot wrong, Arsene Wenger, in the cup final last year. I don't think they did a lot wrong tonight, Richard. I thought they played pretty well from start to finish. Interesting way they worked Wiltor there and Freddie Ljungberg. I think Arsene allowed them just to interchange. If Freddie found himself left side, he stayed left side. If Wiltord found himself left side, he did the same. And, you know, there were early warnings about Freddie. We'd spent a lot of time with him pre-game and saying what his strengths were, what he did. This is a classic example of Ljungberg at his best, just failing to connect with it. And it was a little warning. But Bolton, there was an openness about the game. You can see how the game is stretched there. And this was about the best opportunity. And I think it needed a better ball. Well, it did need a better ball, but I think he could have done more, Rod Wallace, with it. And that was the best opportunity I felt at 0-0. Because after that, it was pretty much Arsenal who were threatening and always looked like they might get one. And it duly arrived from
calculated, weren't they?
Yes.
Never any panic.
No. I said to you, I think they've got a belief about what they've been asked to do this year, about what they needed to do this year. And oh God, I mean, gee, England fans must be looking at that and thinking, please run out of goals before the beginning of June, Freddie.
Well, he won't have Dennis there with him, will he?
No, he won't. And I mean, as I've said to you there, I think when you look at the goals in recent games, the amount of times this combination, Bergkamp edge of the box to a Ljungberg run into the box, has borne such great fruit for Arsenal. And I thought then, I was saying to you then, they need to get to half-time, Bolton. I thought they needed half-time badly, but they didn't get there. A couple of minutes to go. And I think then, where Arsenal have been playing, when they played Spurs, when they played Ipswich, when they played West Ham, they were playing intense football, Richard, for a long time, because it took them a long time to win those games. I think that they were able to do second half, not play comfort football, but not have to play at the intensity that they were asked to do in the previous 3 league games. And it makes an awfully good. They had 2 guys at the back when, and they knocked a lot of balls in high. And Adams and Keown have spent 15 years, Richard, heading them away.
Yes. And
they did so again tonight. They might have got, and Arsenal might even have extended a lead. That one, I think Gunde Bergson did an awfully good job there. A lot of players would have lunged at this, and would ended up being pretty foolish, scuffing it in off the post into the net.
And if it's 0-0, this is a big talking point, isn't it?
Well, it might have been, but I don't think it's anywhere near in. I think it's miles from being in. If Ashley Coles wasn't in, then that certainly wasn't. But and only 1 or 2. Michael Ricketts did come on. I thought Sam might bring him on at half-time, but he only waited 10 minutes, Richard. And they had a couple of opportunities. Kevin Nolan's header here. I agree with Alan Smith. I would have powered that, I think. But it was a horrible ball with no real pace on it. So I think he just tried to be cute and lift it back over. That's a wonderful touch and a great strike. He deserved better here. He deserved better. And look at that. If you're unlucky, it comes to an Arsenal player. If you're lucky, it drops to Michael Ricketts. They were a bit unlucky there.
And that would have given us quite a lively finish too.
Yeah, it would have. There was about 10-15 minutes to go here. And it would have just... Well, they certainly not got players who twitch. I mean, when you look at the back 4 now, I mean, how familiar was the look about Dixon, Keown, Adams and Seaman? You know, 4 out the back, 5 players that have played there. There was only Nigel Winterburn missing. And his replacement here, and Ashley Cole, almost just put the icing on the cake. Didn't think there was a threat second half. He's delighted. It was a big game. Question was asked by Bolton, and Freddie and his boys come up with a pretty emphatic answer.
It's done in most parts of the table. It's either Ipswich or Sunderland to join Derby and Leicester. Bolton, we knew before they started tonight, were safe. And well done Gordon Strachan, who, remember, took over when Southampton were in the drop zone after just 8 games. He got them out, well out, as it turned out. Charlton, Everton, Blackburn, who won at Everton at the weekend, up into 12th. And then it's Fulham, the 3 promoted clubs, all in the bottom half, but they all survive for the first time. It's Borough, Villa, West Ham 8th, Spurs took over from them at the weekend. Leeds will play in Europe next season, so too Chelsea ahead of the FA Cup final. They'll take the UEFA Cup place. Newcastle, they secured Champions League football, finishing 4th. Liverpool out of the title race tonight as a result of Arsenal's win. It's either Manchester United or Arsenal. The game at Old Trafford is still a very big affair. Arsenal need to avoid defeat there to have a comfortable last day out and make absolutely sure. If United win, there's a lot of work to do, but they're beginning to celebrate in and around Highbury.
Ferguson saying we're cocky, but you saw them today. They just played great stuff. They're going to do it easily.
We'll do it, no problem. We'll win the league and Manchester. Definitely.
I tell you, this is my 52nd game this season, and it will be just the top feeling. I live in Manchester. I've had to put up with so much stuff from old United fans for so long. It's going to be brilliant, and we're going to do it. I tell you.
We're going to win it, Old Trafford. So all I'm going to say is hand it over, Manchester United.
52 games, she's made more appearances in an Arsenal jersey than anybody else this season.
She's made only 52. What happened to the other 4 she missed? Come on, that's not good enough.
And no rotation there.
And she looks fresh as a daisy, doesn't she, as well?
It's a big night out. Wednesday, May the 8th. Make a note.
We will come first. I'm 100% convinced.
It'll be massive. We'll be a bigger game for the last 10 years in football.
Can't miss it, can you?
No, and do you know what? Why it's even bigger? I think Manchester United, they'll want to ask Arsenal that final question. They want to beat Arsenal so that they send Arsenal into the last game knowing that if they only draw and United win, they would lose out in goal difference. And I think that the Manchester United players and Alex Ferguson will want to say, let's just see if we can cope with the final bit of massive pressure. And that's why I think United will want to win that and go to win it. I don't think they want Arsenal to win the championship at Old Trafford, do you?
That's why it's still a huge night out. And it's not done yet. Sam Allardyce is waiting to talk to us.
Sam, there's a little bit of football left to play, but you think you've probably just played the champions?
On tonight's performance, probably yes, and the fact that the away record in the league has been absolutely outstanding, having not lost a game all season, and certainly they showed when they needed to tonight. They could step it up and open us up at any given stage, and in the end, as hard as we tried in the first half, they put a couple of smashing balls from Bergkamp in that we really couldn't do that much about, and 2 very, very, very good goals. And after that, from our point of view, it was about trying to hang in there and get something out of the game to get a bit of pressure on them, and we tried ever so hard the second half. The chances came and went at 2 particularly good chances. I think one fell to Yuri where David Seaman saved it, and then the one that hit the post, and we just wanted to try and exert a bit of pressure on for the last few minutes, but there were quality all the way through today.
How long did you feel you were in the game for?
I think up to the second goal, to be perfectly honest with you. We were trying desperately to get the message onto the lads to try and see the first half out at 1-0. And then see if we couldn't get something in the second half, because if we'd have stayed at 1-0 going towards the end of the game, Arsenal may have felt a bit of nerves and we may have had a little bit of luck and had the opportunity to score a goal. But I think after 2-0 it was a hard road for us to come back from that.
It's your last game at home. You've just done your walk in front of the crowd. Do you feel you've got something to celebrate purely by staying in the Premiership?
I think so. I mean, everybody had written us off at the start of the season, not just to get relegated, but most people had us bottom of the division from the very, very start. And this club hasn't been in the Premiership other than 4 times in the last 40-odd years, and it's the 5th time this time. And it's 22 years since it last maintained its status in the top division, which was then the 1st division when I was here. And we've managed to do it again this season under very restricted finances, everybody knows. We've only spent what we can afford, and we've managed to prove everybody wrong by doing that, and getting a well-deserved, I think, Premiership status next year, as well as the other 2 teams that have got promoted, even though they've spent more than us. And it shows that, you know, that perhaps the difference between the 2 divisions, for this season anyway, has been proven not to be too big, because all 3 sides have stayed in the Premiership.
Which must give West Brom heart, Andy, who come up with presumably restricted finances as well.
Absolutely. I think that's what Gary Megson will be working under, the same sort of restrictions that the big man has to do. That's why it's been a great reward for Sam, his management style, his management skills, his coaching ability. And I think Gary Megson's will be tested fully might not be, his wheeling and dealing might be the things that either decide whether they stay up or go down.
Anything to say about that? You could be on Sky Sports. That's next. Thanks for your company. We'll look forward, both of us, to joining you this weekend in Cardiff. See you there.